Okay, so now again, uh, you know, when we look at this, like I said, you look at all the historical data, like we can here at Yah righteousness, and you can see the word of Yah has come to pass just like it's been written in regards to them. Okay, because look at what has come out about the Demona movement, right? About the pedophilia, right? Again, that's why y'all call them Sodom and her daughters, the homosexual, that and all of the stuff, the incest, the stuff, that has come out about over the years, right? And again, as I said earlier, right? You can. It's not by any means necessary. Okay, you cannot do whatever you think you want to do to try to accrue monetary gain. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't do whatever you think you want to do to acquire monies or to try to get information. Because again, they ICL, and then they sent his stepdaughter. Okay, it was a brother that was hooked up with this movement who was going to their parties and whatnot, because he didn't know any better at the time. Another brother who was plugged into this that brought him to this movement, right? And they were coming back here, but this other brother who knew, from what we had discussed about going and starting to have desire for their women. You follow what I'm saying? Because they would put women on guys, men, to bring them into that movement. This was told to me back in 1981. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because when the restaurant here, Soul Veggies, it was called back then, Soul Vegetarian East, you understand, on 75th Street, when it first opened up, you understand, the brothers that, I was hooked in with, Ben and Virgil Azaria, we went over there. We would go over there and eat, right? And first time we went over there, three of us, right? It had just opened up. And it was nice. I'm like, man, this is nice, right? So we ordered, right? And the sister that was waiting on us, nice looking sister, but she was, kind of like making overtures at me, coming at me a little bit. I looked in, so Ben, cause see again, all, Ben and Ben-Ami and a bunch of them, Gabriel, they went to Beta Israel over here on 47 in Cottage Grove. See, all of this, see, this history was revealed to me. These things revealed to me through the years, right? Okay, which you see again in Gabriel's book, Impregnable People. Some of it, right? But Ben told me, you understand, he said, YHWH, he said, we can't mess with none of their women now. He said, because they put women on guys to bring them in to the movement. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what time. He said, yeah, okay. So I told this to this brother back, in the 90s about that. When he revealed to me he was going over there to some of their parties. So you understand, this brother played it off to me like he had stopped, but he was still going to their things, in pursuit of, some of the women, and one of their women was put on him. Then this brother who was new to the situation, his friend, you understand, revealed to me, they came over here to study some at different times back then, and he revealed to me, he said, yeah, we went over to the party at a restaurant at the brothers, and we went last night. And when he said that, I said, oh yeah. He said, yeah. He said, man, I met the prince's daughter, talking about ICL's stepdaughter, ended up being his stepdaughter. I said, oh, really? He's like, yeah. And then I looked at the other brother. He dropped his head because he, you know what I mean? He know what I had said to him, but he didn't tell this brother that. So then I said to the brother that I, who dropped his head, I said, did you tell him what we talked about? And so this brother said, what was that? And then I clued him in. I wired him up. And he looked at him. He said, how come you didn't tell me? Okay? See? But now he already hooked up with this sister. You follow what I'm saying? Because he his interest been piqued. He said, and definitely she the prince's daughter, right? And so they ended up hooking up, right? But see, I said to her the first time basically I met her. I knew what time it was. I said, yeah, I told y'all. I said, they gonna send her over here. And she, trying to find out about this movement because, you understand, that's what they was trying to find out all these years. Because like I said, they were sending correspondence over here years earlier in the 90s, like the middle 90s. And I would send it back because they would send correspondence over here addressed YHWH Our Righteousness. And I looked at that, that was an insult. You got the car, you don't see any YHWH on the car. So how you gonna send some correspondence over here with YHWH on it? That's an insult. So I would circle it in red, underline it, you understand, cross out the address over here and say return to sender, addressee unknown, figuring that, they figured it out. That happened about 4 or 5 times till they just stopped sending anything. You follow me? They didn't figure it out. Okay? See, because when we sent them flyers, Y'all Righteousness, when we sent them flyers in 2004, you understand, they call themselves Nazi. I put Nazi on there and sent it. Sent one to ICL, sent them over in the land to Benami, Elkanah, Gabriel, and they got him because Nazi Elkanah told me when I saw him at the restaurant, because I met him through Ben years earlier. See, didn't know him that well, but I met him through Ben. You follow me? And he remembered me. You understand? Because I ran into him a few other times. And when, saw him up in the restaurant one day, Yada not sitting up there, he came past the window and nodded, and I nodded, He came inside and eventually came over. He said, how you doing, brother? I said, peace, bro. I said, how you doing, Nasi? And then, because he had been in the land, he had been sick. And I told him, I heard you've been sick. You okay? He said, oh, yeah, I'm better now. And I said, how's everybody in the land? I would always ask about how, he said, oh, they would always say everybody divine. You know what I mean? So then I asked him, I said, did you get the flyer we sent you? He said, what? I said, Y'all Righteousness. And he said, oh, that was you? He said, man, I threw that away. I thought it was somebody trying to mess with me. Okay? And so, we talked, and then he left. And then Yada said, what did he say he threw it away? I said, Yada, what else he gonna say? I said, because again, I know he read it, but he didn't understand it. So he ain't gonna say, he's Nasi Elkanah. You think he gonna say he didn't understand it? He ain't gonna say that. But I know he didn't understand it. None of them did. Okay? But send it to him nevertheless, right? Okay? See what I'm saying? So they knew, they heard about it. Like I said, he's trying to find out. That's why he engineered the conversation. Like I said, when he approached me, in 91, right? They hadn't heard about it until 91. They saw the card. That's like I said, that's when they got about Yah right. They started calling, making calls to the phone, and they would hear that message. Yeah, right? So then a few years later, like I said, Benami came out with, he gonna tell everybody because he Robbie Benami, he supposedly got a vision from the Most High. You follow me? He told everybody the angel Gabriel came to him, but that had to be a lie, because if the angel Gabriel was sent to anybody, Gabriel, the angel, any angel of Yah is going to say, thus saith Yah. Okay? Yah's name always going to be proclaimed. Just like we proclaim. Thus saith Yah. See? So that was a lie right there. You follow me? That Benami put forth. That's why, again, as I said in the past, when we got, when I finally read Impregnable People by Nasi Gabriel, I'm waiting to read where he said, Benami got the vision. He didn't have that in the book at all, nowhere. See, because he know that wasn't true. See what I'm saying? That's why he didn't have it in there. You follow me? Because if the angel's been sent to you, he gonna come in the name of Yah. So how come you wasn't calling yourself KOY from the get-go? Why were you KOG? See? Okay, so again, to finish this off in chapter 48, Yeshaya, right? Verse 7, right? They are created now, these things that weren't created from the beginning when they're beginning. This was created after them, which again, Yah writes us, right? He said, they are created now and not from the beginning, even before the day when you heard them not, lest for fear you should say, behold, I knew them. You follow me? How many people don't know what you're talking about, but they'll tell you, oh, I know about that. You know they lying. You understand? Many of you probably encountered that in the past. I know I have. Oh, I know all about that. Lying, you know nothing, right? That's what Yah is saying about them, right? He says, yes, you heard not, yes, you knew not. Yes, from that time that thine ear was not open. See, because y'all didn't open their ears, still ain't opened it. I mean, they hearing some stuff, is maybe little things resonating on them, but they still don't truly understand. That's why at the back end of chapter 41, Yeshaya, what does Yah say? When he brings the Jerusalem movement back and sets it in the midst of his sisters, Ezekiel 16, to be a comfort unto them, that's when, you understand? What does he say in the back end of 41? The first shall say to Zion, when they bear witness to Jerusalem, you know, Yah returning on the head of his movement, Yah righteousness, right? They're going to say, behold, behold him, because the movement will be lifted up. This is the king, Yah of hosts, returning to Jerusalem. Yah has not been in Jerusalem in over 2,600 years. That's why the whole world and everybody, the whole earth, and everybody on the face of the earth has to bear witness when Yah brings again Zion. Chapter 52, Yeshaya. Everybody on the face of the earth gonna bear witness to it. Because this is the king returning to his resting place. Right? This is Jerusalem, his representatives being brought back to their dwelling place, their inheritance, Jerusalem. Not Dimona, not Mizpeh, not Arad, Jerusalem. Okay? See, yes, thou heardest not, yes, you knew not, yes, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that you would deal very treacherously and was called a transgressor from the womb. And again, that's all Israel was called that, right? And that's why we've been in this captivity over 2,700 years. The so-called Palestinians, Israelites, wherever they are, they Israel. Basic, that's who they are. Just like, you understand, those of us been brought over here, our forefathers was brought over here in ships. You understand what I'm saying? Into the islands and whatnot, and dispensed, right? Over here in this door to Babylon, United States of America, and dispensed, right? Israelites. Now, quite naturally, as I said in the past, you're going to have some mixture going on. There's some of us, you know, that look like Israel, that's not Israel, like Farrakhan. And he was at ICL's, okay, services. He spoke. Okay, because he spoke the longest. You know, they was only supposed to speak 2 minutes. He spoke like 30. Okay? Right? But in speaking, Farrakhan let some things out. You follow me? See? Because ICL, you know, spoke with him on a pretty much regular basis. You follow me? And what did Farrakhan reveal? He said, you know, ICL said to him earlier this year before they went over to this, you know, a new world recognition in May, Isaiah looked at him and said, I'm going to stop taking dialysis, because Isaiah was a diabetic. Okay, his stepdaughter, she revealed that to me back in the late 90s, that he was a diabetic. She told me he's a diabetic. Yahoo. See, because again, when you send an agent over into a situation, and like I said, y'all let me see that from the get-go. Well, yeah, because like I said, you know, they could have called over here and asked me what they want. If they had a put YHWH Our Righteousness on the correspondence they sent back there in the middle 90s, I'd have responded. See? But it's an insult to send some YHWH Our Righteousness over here when you done seen the card with YHWH with y'all's name on it. But you gonna send what you gonna send over here. You see what I'm saying? That's that pride. See, you know, they the ones got to tell you. You can't reveal it. Nothing can, you know, you can't tell them anything. They know it all. You understand what I'm saying? When in actuality, they didn't understand. The only thing they basically understood was that they was Israel. That's it. And Yah is telling you this here in these first 10 verses here in chapter 48, Yeshaya. Okay? Now again, I'm back over here, right? Verse 8, you heard, yes. You heard not, yes. You knew not, Yes, from that time that thine ear was not open, for I knew that thou would deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from the womb. Again, that's all Israel was called that, because we the descendants of Israel, wherever we are on the face of this earth. For my name's sake, you see that? Verse 9, will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. That's why the Edomites here, the last year and a half or so, they, the Edomites over in the land, trying to put out about 100 and something of them, about 45 families. And I said here last year when that, when that came out, that the Edomites was trying to, you understand, take about 45 families out of the land that's been over there 20 to 30 years. And what did I say? They ain't gonna be able to do that. Y'all is not gonna allow it. Why? Because like y'all, I just read in verse 9, chapter 48, YHWH. Y'all said he's gonna refrain for them that they don't get cut off. Why? For his praise. Didn't I just read that in verse 9? Okay. You understand? He deferring his anger, though they ain't been about him yet. And they do, every now and then you'll hear them say, Yah, when they're not saying that garbage Yahweh, right? Every now and then you'll hear them say Yah, because they just make mention of his name, sporadic, right? Like I said, I never heard ICL say Yah at all. I only heard him say Yahweh once. But in all the interviews and whatnot, in different shows and whatnot, in the conversation he never said Yah. I never heard him say that, ever. Now, I've heard a few of them other brothers say Yah, make mention, right? You'll see that sporadic in the program when you read ICL's, funeral program. You understand his obit. Yah's in it just a couple of times or something like that, right? You follow me? But you're going to see interspersed when you read the program, if you bring it up, right? My life, my way. Nothing to do with the creator. He did what was right in his eyes. Now, when I say that, right, you just go over to the book of the governors, so-called book of the kings. What Esau put on there is really the book of the governors, as we put forth in the past, right? And when you read in the book of the governors, what does it always say? You understand? Right at the top, it always tells you whether they serve Yah or not, does it not? Whether they did which was right in the sight of Yah or not. See? And it would be said with Ben-Ami, it would be said with ICL, it would be said with, you understand, Elkanah, Gabriel, and all of them to this point. Now, as far as I know, Gabriel's still alive. So if he stays alive, you understand, when y'all gets established, right? He got a chance to submit and come over if y'all keep him alive. As far as I know, he's still alive. Eskiyahu gone. He died here the other year. Just like, you understand, I talked with this brother, Eliadoh. Now, I don't know where, look, he never became a Nasi amongst them. Okay, but I got articles in this Jerusalem Chronicle newspaper, you understand, where it talks about when Eliadoh, this brother Eliadoh, first went over there. You understand what I'm saying? In 69, 70, first hooked up. Okay, there's some stuff revealed in there. You understand? But they also got the article here the other year when Eliadoh died at 75 years old. And he had dementia. They got a picture of him. I talked with him twice. Because he called here the first time in 2010. Because he said this sister, you understand, it was down in Atlanta then, called and told him about this movement. And told him about what she heard me talk about in regards to this chapter 48, YHWH, the first 10 verses, and Ezekiel chapter 16, them being called Sodom and her daughters. She heard it because she called me, you understand, I know we talked maybe at least about 3 times, I think it is, and it's one of them times, I don't think it's the first, it might have been the first time, but it probably, I don't know, it was one of them times, I know she said to me, she said, brother, you the only one I've ever heard that can intertwine historical data with this book and substantiate, history with this word in this book, word of the creator. Because he told me, she told him, and that's why, he called in 2010. Because when he first called, I wasn't here. He left a message. I called him back. He wasn't there. I left a message. Then that next morning, he called back. We talked about 3.5, 4 hours. And he told me, because I asked him, I said, well, brother, why did you leave? You understand? He said, because it stopped being what it was supposed to be, what it started out being. It stopped being that. So I left. He came on back here to Monroe, Louisiana, where he lived. The last time I talked to him, he called here looking for, asked me had I talked to this other brother who was a stepson to Esau, who I have just found out here not long ago, heathen transition. His name was YHWH too. I said, because I told him, no, I hadn't talked to or seen YHWH in a few years when he, you understand, some years when he asked me that. Okay, but he's gone now, 75 years old. Now, again, to finish this off, right? Verse 10, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. And that's what this daughter of Babylon, United States of America is, furnace of affliction, because this is where all the game, you understand? All kind of affliction going on here. That's why this is the furnace of affliction. All right? Because again, the reason why, you understand, the Illuminists and the Skull and Bone Boys, you understand, they're going to, you understand, had these articles written about about Esau, because again, they want the people, you understand, that's still here, that's Israel, to be directed to that. Well, they know that, they know that that's not the movement. The last thing they want is for people to hear about Yah righteousness. Okay? That's why, again, you understand, they mention Yah righteousness. They do not want you to hear about this, because they know what Yah is bringing through this movement. Okay? And again, I'm not exalting me. This is about Yah righteousness, the king. That's just the reality of it. Okay? Now again, this Sun Times article, right? September the 3rd, 2022, right? And it's got big bold. I'll let you see it. You see that there? Big bold letters. Okay? See the breadth of the article? Big ain't it? Whole page, basically. Right? Prince Esau ben Israel, Chicago-born black Hebrew leader. See, they're going to always stress that black, right? You follow me? Celebrated at memorial service. The life and legacy of Prince Esau ben Israel, Southside-born black Hebrew leader, was celebrated Friday with tributes from devout followers, loved ones, and religious, right? Religious and city leaders, because he was also hooked up into the this alpha stuff, right? That Greek nonsense. Cause they had about 20 or so, you understand, other alphas who was in the alphas with him, who was there. You understand? Some older than he was. Like they look like they was old. I mean, they not in the best of health, right? But if you watch it, you'll see it. You follow me? You understand? Because one of them who I met back in '69, who became state senator, Donnie Trotter, he was there, right? But again, you understand, he had to be listening to Isaiah some years ago, and came out of a bag on me. You understand, up in the restaurant, you know what I mean? I came in there one day, yachted myself. This is before we started doing the sessions with Mark, probably maybe around 2005, right? So he had been evidently listening to ICL, spew some salt on me. You know what I mean? Because I hadn't, you know what I'm saying? Communicated with them when they sent that, YHWH Our Righteousness over here. I sent it back. So he probably was pouring some salt on me. And another person who, you understand, introduced me to this Donnie Trotter years, back in '69, right? He more than likely had been throwing some salt on me too. You understand? So try to believe that. And so when we came in the restaurant one day, you understand, it wasn't nobody in there. He's sitting around there by himself. And Yanni and I came in there, and I said, hey, Donnie. He didn't say anything. Looked at me, put his books in his bag. He had his books on the table, put his books in his bag in his briefcase, got up, looked at me and said, some of us got to work for a living, and walked out. And I'm like, Yada was like, what's that all about? I said, hey, you got me. But as we sat there, and I said to her, and we were eating, I told her, I said, I figured that out. You understand what I'm saying? I said, told him, man, what's there about? We sent him something, he sent it back. What's he ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? You follow me? He pass out that card with that Yah righteousness on there. You understand what I mean? evidently poured some salt on me, you understand? And like I said, I know this other brother poured some salt on me to try to, and so he had no need to, he believed, what the book say, the wicked believe lies. You follow what I'm saying? Because a person who got understanding gonna search a thing out. You just don't take stuff you hear, you gonna search it out. Wait till it unfolds. Because we supposed to wait on Yah. Isn't that what it say in the book? Like Psalms 40 verse 1, isn't that what David wrote? In YHWH chapter 25, was that verse 9? We supposed to wait on Yah patiently. We supposed to substantiate and confirm. You just don't take stuff and run with it. Right? Okay. But like I said, you see that Donnie Trotter at the service. He was there. He got up and spoke. And he said, ICL his teacher. That's why you didn't understand anything. Because some years later, you follow what I'm saying? You understand? After he had, you understand, acted like that for no reason towards me, right? And I saw him, at this housewarming for this person that I used to be, real close to, that I met him through back in '69. But this person got a house, and so he called me and invited me to the woman. So I went, because like I say, I don't hold no animosity against him. This person, he's got animosity towards me that, he won't reveal, and he ain't gonna never tell why, because it's gonna, incriminate him, gonna show the true him, right? But I already seen enough. That's why I had to divorce myself from him per se. And so, but by the time that he had gotten his house, this person, and invited me, and we had started doing shows with Mark Sims, and so they were on the TV, and they had been seen. And so when I went to this housewarming, I came around the back, going in, and Donnie Trotter was sitting back there by himself. And I'm saying this because he probably will hear this, or somebody who knows him will hear this, so he'll understand, right? And he was sitting back there by himself. When I came around the corner, he jumped up, right? And now he's, because we doing shows, so they didn't heard what's coming through this movement. You follow what I'm saying? See, where he had said to me a few years earlier, or a year or so earlier, some of us got to work for a living. You know what I mean? See, because again, Yah's got this movement, had this movement hid in the shadow of his hand in that 49 YHWH while he was polishing it. But now when he started to lift it up, right, when the Edomites went in on Lebanon, hewing it down, chapter 33 YHWH, regarding no man, right? That's when Yah lifted himself up. That's why, we can't take any credit. Yah gets the credit. I mean, it explicitly says that in the 33rd chapter of YHWH. When the Edomites went in on the Lebanon, hewing it down, regarding no man, back there in July 12, 2006, was there for 34 days, hewing it down, dropping bombs, dropped over 1 million cluster bombs, right? July 16th is when we recorded the first show with Mark, but it aired the first week in August. The Edomites was still in Lebanon dropping bombs. Murderers that they are. Okay? You understand? And so, we started doing the shows with Mark. Now, when this brother, like I said, got this house and invited me, I come around the corner, there's Donnie Trotter sitting there by himself in the bag. Because everybody done gone downstairs in the house, right? But he's sitting there by himself. I come around the corner and he see me, he jump up. And when I get, YHWH, right, got his hand out. I shook his hand. But you know what I said to him? All I said to him was, some of us got to work for a living. And he looked at me and I went on downstairs. He left. He never came downstairs. You follow me? See, because, you understand, you understand these prideful, arrogant people. I had never shown him but friendship. I remember I took him home one time. We was at this party. He didn't have no way. He said, "YHWH, can you take me home?" Because he lived way over on the east side then. I said, "Sure, no problem." Took him home. We talked. Dropping right in front of his house. But he gonna act like that, listening to other folks. Instead of saying, you know, what's up, man? You know, ICL said this to me, you know, or this other person said this to me. What's going on? Instead of coming to me like that, he gonna believe them, right? See, that's what the wicked does. Isn't that what it says in this book of remembrance? See, the wicked believe lies. They don't search a thing out. See, because they respect persons. See, I tell you, man, you know, but again, back here in this article, right? They say Isaiah was described as a beacon of strength in the African. Hear that? African. Again, Africa is what? After Scipio Africanus Minor, who defeated Hannibal. Right? That continent is Eden. The African Hebrew Israelite community who led thousands to Israel. Now he took people to Israel. I don't know how many, but he took plenty of people to Israel. I don't deny that. ICL did. Right? A fierce and passionate advocate for black excellence. That's what they saying. You know what I mean? Black. What's that? You follow me? Black excellence. What about human rights? What about human excellence? Right? This is how Esau writes it, right? Again, putting all they spin, always want to set the narrative, right? Both in Chicago and internationally. He died August 21st at age 81 and is survived by an expansive family tree. 3 wives, 15 children, and over 60 grandchildren and great-grandchildren, many of whom attended Friday's 3-hour memorial service at the Trinity United Church of Christ, see, in the house of idolatry, because he was an idolater. Mourners gathered at the church to pray and remember their beloved prince, who gave over 50 years of his life in service to his beliefs. That's what they got here, his beliefs, and that's true, that's correct, right? Black Hebrews believe they are direct descendants from the Israelites of the Old Testament. See, believe, right? The group also believes in everlasting life. See, that's nonsense, right? But again, I ain't saying he didn't. Okay, you follow me? But that's total. We know that's nonsense. Even after death, a theme that echoed throughout Ben Israel's memorial service through prayers and sermons. I extend my condolences to all of you because we did not personally suffer a loss. We collectively did. This Yosef ben Israel, ben Prince Asiel, you know, his son, younger son, who's supposed to, you know, who's Asiel is trained to take on doing the same thing he was doing, right? Ben Israel's son said at the memorial, "We stand before you knowing that our father, our brother, our friend gave us all that he had, so we are at peace," unquote. Yosef Asiel told the crowd his father taught him a key lesson about brotherhood and strength. As black men, we have been taught to be envious of those who are great. We've been taught to be a little apprehensive, but my father lived on the principle that strong men don't fear strong men, unquote, he said to the thunderous applause. Okay? Yosef Asiel said he plans to continue his father's work in the community and urged fellow black Hebrews to join him. As we come to celebrate the life and legacy of such a great man, we must do so and continue in his work, he said, so we can't leave here divided because our nation can't survive with division. Okay? You follow me? But Yah's the only one that's great. See? And again, you know, him and Ben split. And then he orchestrated the split further, ICLD. Like I said in the past, you know, on this Muslim show, Muhammad, who, you know, he transitioned here about 2.5 years ago. Right? But you understand what I mean? He further orchestrated it. Okay? I bore witness to that. You understand what I'm saying? And others have too. Because Farrakhan, he touched on it in his eulogy. Farrakhan said, you know, he told him when Asiel said to him, said, yeah, this was before Asiel went over to the land, back there in May of this year, right? For that New World, you know, gathering. that they call it. He told Farrakhan said, Isaiah said, I'm gonna stop taking dialysis. And Farrakhan said, what you wanna go over there to the land of Israel and die in Dimona? And he said Isaiah's head whipped around, and he looked at him and said, yeah. So that was Isaiah's plan. But Farrakhan said, yeah, but he went, but he didn't die. He came back here. See, but Farrakhan intimated, said he told him back when you understand, when that split happened with him and Ben me, Farrakhan said he told him, said, yeah, but you should never leave the teacher. You should never turn on the teacher. And you know why Farrakhan's saying that? Because you understand, he said, you know, because that's what he put to Malcolm X back then when Malcolm X left Elijah Muhammad. See, but again, you understand, you're not supposed to respect persons in judgment. Again, Deuteronomy 1:17. Yah is first. We owe all our allegiance to him, individually and collectively. Not only Israel, but all mankind, if they care about their creator, because it's not but one, and that's Yah of hosts, Yah of righteousness, the king. Found the living water, spirit and creator of all things, right? Okay, now, back here it says, several civic leaders attended the memorial, including Mayor Lori Lightfoot, homosexual, right? U.S. Representative Danny K. Davis, U.S. Representative Bobby Rush. Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan also joined the slew of guest speakers. Ben Israel often acted as a consultant to political leaders and other prominent people, including the late Whitney Houston, during his later years. That's why, you know, the Edomites got so upset with Whitney Houston going over there talking about my country, right? You understand? I talked about that in the past. That's why they took her out, drowned in the bathtub. Like I said, that Clyde Davis, she went supposed to, you know, he having some kind of big gathering for his record label, right? Whitney Houston is one of the main stars, on his label. She drowned supposedly in the bathtub. They find her dead, right? Why would you continue on with a party? Why would you have the party? Because that happened before the party started, and they went on and had the party anyway. See, so they took her out because they still hot that she went over there and walked around talking about my country. You follow what I'm saying? Our country, talking about, you know, the Israelites, the true Israelites. You know they hated her for that. And Clive Davis, the Edomite, right? Again, Esau, you know, he you understand? Unless you with Yah with all your heart and soul, you don't have any power, you don't have any protection. Okay? Says Prince did touch so many lives, he found a way to negotiate between the spiritual and civic, said the Reverend Tony Luck, who officiated at the memorial. You follow me? Because again, when you look at a lot of these brothers who was hooked up in that Dimona movement, they line their beards, they line their heads. You understand what I'm saying? That's against the law, right? They vegans. They ain't supposed to be vegans. We ain't supposed to be vegans. You follow me? Like in the conversation that I engineered in the restaurant years ago, right? I just mentioned earlier, right? When he took us over another side, we sitting there. He said, we're not supposed to eat meat, right? Okay. I said, why not? He said, well, you know, you eating blood when you eat meat. I said, no, you're not. You know, you're not eating any blood now. I said, yeah, I'll still call him nuts because he was still with brothers then, right? I said, that's not true. He said, oh, yeah. I said, we just had a steak the other day. We didn't eat no blood. We cooked the blood out. He said to me, I said, you can't cook the blood out. I said, what? I said, we do it all the time. We do it all the time. You follow me? But I like I said, I knew he wasn't going to understand it and he wasn't going to acknowledge it even if he got a real light. Because he the prince. He in that pride thing. See? Because when you say to me, you follow me, that you can't cook the blood out, so what are you saying? You saying Abraham ate blood? You saying Isaac ate blood? You saying Jacob ate blood? Yisrael, right? You saying all the children of Israel ate blood? You're saying David ate blood? You're saying Solomon ate blood? All the priests and the wives, You understand? When the tabernacle was established, when the temple was established, you saying they ate blood. Are you listening to really what you saying? When Israel was in harmony with Yah, before they went AWOL, you saying they all ate blood. Because as we put forth in the past, right? Exodus chapter 12. You know, because you got these Edomites saying that if you're going to eat flesh, you got to drain all the blood out. Right? You got to hang it up, let the blood drip out for so long until ain't no blood is left in there, which is still going to be some blood in it, right? Or you got to side it, draw all the blood out. Other than that, you eat blood. Well, that's a lie, right? Because when you read Exodus chapter 12, what did Yah say about the Passover lamb? You don't kill it till the sun goes down on the 14th day. It's still the 14th day, but you don't kill it till the sun goes down, right? And then you start cooking it. And you don't start eating it when? Until the 15th day, right? Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, start at the same time on the 15th day of the first month, right? But what does he say there in Exodus 12? You cannot side it in water. So therefore, you got to be able to cook the blood out. You follow me? But see, he was still operating and probably still did operating on what that Ben-Ami put forth about that Genesis chapter 1, right? You know, man was supposed to be a vegan before they, Adam, and you understand, Eve fell in the garden, you understand, when she got beguiled by this other man, you follow me, and had intercourse. And that's when Yah said a new menu. That was his take. And that's what them, the Demona people go by. You understand what I'm saying? Which is nonsense. Yah changes not. It's always been the same menu. Like Yah says over there in Leviticus 11, we shall eat meat. Because there's certain properties out of the clean meats. Because again, you understand? That's why Yah differentiates between the clean and the unclean. See, these are the things that the Illuminists do not want us to know. Don't want us to understand. That's why they came up with that New Testament garbage. And they tell you in there that, this mythical character, when he came on the scene and died for everybody's sins, which is an impossibility, because you understand, nobody can die for anybody else's sins. That's stupid right there. Look, I didn't sin, somebody else gonna die because I sinned. You follow me? Everybody judges and gets judged because of what they do. Period. Deuteronomy chapter 24, everybody dies for their own sin. Right? You follow me? See, that's the kind of, nonsense that the Edomites put, right, in that New Testament to keep us from finding our way to Yah, to keep us, locked in a bunch of nonsense. And matter of fact, it's Deuteronomy, what is it, 21? No, it's 24. Yeah. You understand? Everybody dies for their own sin. You follow me? You can't die for anybody else's sin. Is that justice? Does that make sense? You understand? 24th chapter. Everybody dies for their own sin. Right? You follow me? So you understand? That's how convoluted the New Testament and all these religions are. And Esau created them that way. Because again, that 83rd son, what did Esau say? You understand? The tabernacles of Edom, right? Got them other nations to go in with them. They all went in with the scheme Esau put forward. Let's deal craftily with them. They didn't cut themselves off from Yah. Let's keep them cut off. See? But again, ICL, he hung up in that Greek stuff. He was an alpha, or whatever they call themselves. You follow me? Like I said, you bring up the services and watch it. Okay? Again, it says, now check this out. Ben Israel left America in the 1960s. That's a lie. That's revisionist history. That's a lie. He didn't even know anything about, you understand, being an Israelite and the Demona movement, which went to Liberia first, Benjamin and them and Gabriel and them, he didn't even know about them until 71. See, this is revisionist history, right? Talking about he left here in America in the 1960s, taking a group of 350 black Americans with him to Israel with the intention of creating a better life abroad. That's a lie. Okay? Ben Israel also was sentenced to 7 months in federal prison in 2015 for failing to register as an agent of Zimbabwe. Yeah, you know, that's true. Friends and loved ones took the pulpit at the memorial to sing, pray, and tell tales of Ben Israel's adventures and travels. His swagger, with a capital S, was ever present wherever his faith took him, Dr. Hermine Hartman said. Founder of the Chicago African-American newspaper Indigo told the crowd. You follow me? Yeah, you understand? He was always a snappy dresser. You follow what I'm saying? But he was duplicity, cause he used to wear some nice cultural outfits. I never saw the ribbon of blue, but I saw friends sometime. I'm pretty sure. Remember seeing the ribbon of blue, but he be dressed cultural a lot of times, real nice. But he be dressed in the ways of the heathen a lot of times with a necktie. Why would any brother with any understanding wear a necktie? You follow me? When they stringing us up in trees with neckties, like they killed Sandra Bland with a garbage, bag necktie, and claim she killed herself. You follow what I'm saying? Why would any brother with any sense wear a necktie? We're supposed to let go of the ways of the heathen, right? You follow me? Shirts with collars and wearing a necktie and a suit. You understand what I'm saying? So, but he traveled around the world in his role as an international ambassador for the African Hebrew Israelite community. That's true. In Chicago, he opened Soul Vegetarian East restaurant, okay, now called Soul Veg City. You follow me? That's what it's called now, because he didn't, when he left, split away from Benjamin, he kept the restaurant. I guess he established, so he kept that, but they renamed it Soul Veg City, right? Mayor Lori Lightfoot praised the charismatic leader and deemed him a freedom fighter. Okay, so this is Esau, because Esau behind her made her mayor. You understand what I'm saying? The Skull and Bone Boys, Esau, they made her mayor. So they sent her. You follow what I'm saying? Did that to put more recognition, to direct more of us into what he's talking about. You follow me? And if not him, the Demona brothers, because they know they ain't going nowhere. You understand? Like I said years ago, they've been running insane, man, for the last 30 years. Okay? Because basically when the Edomites recognized them and gave them status, they gave them temporary status in 92. You follow me? 6 years or 5 to 6 years after the establishment of YHWH righteousness, they gave them temporary status in 92. Then they gave them permanent status in 2004, the year that we sprinkled the monarchies. And I think they got the status right before we sprinkled the monarchies. It's right around that time. And then, we sprinkled the monarchies in September 2004. Right? Because again, like I said, this is the 18th year anniversary of that this month. Right? Chicago has long been a home to black genius and talent, and Prince is truly a testament to that fact, Lightfoot said, Mayor Lightfoot, right? He was unapologetic about the beauty and greatness of black people. Who's that? You understand what I mean? Black. Okay? He categorically rejected each and every narrative that portrayed any of us as less than what we are. Where's Yah in that? Where's Yah in any of that? You follow what I'm saying? Because like I said, we got the history here. Okay? Because we got newspaper articles I'm talking about. Go back and track the history. Because Isaiah didn't find out about the movement until 1971, the Demona movement. That's when he heard about Benjamin and them. You follow me? In 1971, he didn't know nothing about it prior to that. Him and this other brother named, you understand, he called himself Shalik, Ben Shalik. See, you follow me? We got it. I got the history here. Now that's the real deal. Okay, they had all been in the land. Ben-Ami and them. Ben-Ami had taken the rest of them from Liberia over into the land in March 1970. Isaiah didn't find out about him till the following year. Him and this Shalik, and then when they, you understand, went over there to check it out in 71. You follow me? They had to have economic infusion. You follow me? And then, as one of these articles we got here said, this Ben Shalik, he started saying that Ben-Ami was the Messiah. See, and Ben-Ami incorporated this Shalik, because they said in this one article we got here that this Ben Shalik, you understand, he was the John the Baptist for Ben-Ami. You follow me? Predicated on the New Testament, that garbage, right? And Isaiah, you understand, they started infusing capital into the movement. And so Ben-Ami, what did he do? He moved some of them brothers that had been with them through Liberia, that came from here, out of, the door of Babylon, out of Liberia. He moved some of them away and incorporated them, brought them into like his inner circle. See, it's some more stuff, you know what I mean? I tell you, we got the history here. Y'all reveals this. You see what I'm saying? So now, like I said, this Chicago Tribune, got a big article here, right? See it? Big article, okay? But again, community members reflect on legacy of Prince Isaiah of Israel. Leader took many black Chicagoans to live in Israel. Well, that's true. I ain't gonna say that's not true, but he wasn't with the movement in the 60s at all. He didn't even know it existed. Okay? Like I say, this big article, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but this is where it talks about, said Ben Israel was born Warren Brown on April 30th, 1941 to Mary and Archie Brown Sr. As one of 8 children. He attended Dunbar High School and DePaul University, where he became a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. See, in that nonsense. And again, he was associated with a bunch of nonsense until he transitioned. And again, he you understand, he was a diabetic, and so when they talk about, you understand, he knew the right menu, right? How to eat to live, and that's said. And if you watch the services, that's gonna be, underscored. But again, then why was he a diabetic all them years if he knew how to feed himself? If he was about to create it, how he become a diabetic? See, now I was told, and I don't know if this is true, that he also had prostate cancer. I don't know. This is what I was told. See, but again, Farrakhan did say that he told him he wasn't going to take dialysis anymore. Farrakhan says that at the services, and if you watch it, you can hear him say that. Okay, you follow me? See, so I'm telling you, boy, it's something when you really, if you know the history and can really discern all these things, that comes forward in these articles, okay, and how they try to, set a narrative that, as Esau always, tries to do, set the narrative, right? Now, if you pull up that, site, Jesse Jackson Jr. tribute to Prince Isaiah at the DuSable Museum, posted by Bird's Eye View Productions, dated February 14, 2022. You understand? It's a little over 25 minutes long. Now, if you watch that, okay, this is like now they propping Jesse Jackson Jr., who just got out of jail here a few years ago. He been dormant here in the city. He been quiet. So it looks like now they trying to, put him back into the picture to like fill up this void that, ICL had. You dig what I'm saying? Off the back of him. You follow? Because he talks more about him in this, when you look at this segment, than he did about ICL. But you know what I mean? It's like they trying to blend it in and then, You understand? Move Jesse Jackson Jr. into a position. You understand? You know he ain't nothing but an agent like his daddy. And the rest of his brother, I mean, that's all they are. Right? And that's what ICL was. See, like I said, you know, they promulgate these situations and bring them out to the public to attract the public, to keep your mind pegged down in this, to formulate your mind, to manipulate your mind, to shape and mold your mind. Okay? Because like here a few weeks ago, Yada came into my room. She said, "You know, turn it on C-SPAN in this channel." So I turned it on, and it was brother I mentioned in the past, you know, that was in my class in high school. We didn't really know each other. I mean, we knew each other, but not really, you know, we didn't hang, we didn't run together. We, you know, I don't know if William Rowe and Bill, if we said more than 3 words to each other the whole time, you know, the 4 years we was in high school, because we was in different circles, right? But, you know, he was cool with me. I mean, I didn't have any animosity toward him, but I've gotten over, you know, these last so many years, he's got some kind of animosity towards me, but that's his problem. But nevertheless, she came and she said he was on, so I turned it on, and it had been on for about 20 minutes. You know, William Rowe, he used to, you know, be sports reporter for the New York Times, and now he's retired from that, but he's got his own podcast. It's called The Undefeated. You know, he's the one that wrote the book $40 Million Slave, right? And I think he's written a couple other books. Okay, but so Bill was on, and when I tuned it in, it had been on for about 20 minutes, and he was interviewing these 2 Edomite sportscasters. You know, they, you know, one was like, I think around 88, the other was around 90, right? They've been around a long time, and so they were back there during the time of Jackie Robinson. And so this was the main theme of what he was interviewing them about, was, you know, Jackie Robinson, right? And so I finished looking at that, and then I saw it was coming back on, you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I said, okay, I'll probably be up. I'll look at the part I missed, you know, the 20 minutes I missed, you know, later on. So I did. I you know, put it back up at 1 and watched and saw what I missed. But the deal was, the main thing that, you know, was like the main theme was, you know, Bill asked these 2 Edomite sportscasters. He said, "Why do you think the life of Jackie Robinson, and Jackie Robinson, his legacy has endured like it has through the years?" Because, you know, those of you out there who, you know about baseball here, Major League Baseball here in the United States, you know, once a year, every year, right? Every Major League Baseball player on the same day, right? They wear the number 42, Jackie Robinson's number, in recognition of him. So, you know, Bill Roden asked the 2 Edomite sportscasters, "Why do you think the legacy of Jackie Robinson has endured like it has through the years?" So quite naturally, you know, what they come back and said, each one of them, you know, well, you know, Jackie Robinson, you know, he broke the color line, and he persevered, and he was, you know, articulate. He was, he went to college, and he was very, you know, erudite in the sense that, you know, being articulate and representing your race, right? The black race, right? You know, they always put that connotation black on there. And he went through, he took everything that they had to give him, you know, all of the nasty invectives and the put downs and the physical abuse, you know, playing the game, you know, the taunts, right? And the, you know, the denigration, you know, he took it all, and he persevered, see? So, you know, that's the image that they want us all to remember. You follow what I'm saying? They want that to be, you know, the mindset of all of us, you know, Israelites here in America. You understand what I'm saying? To take all of the denigration and the put downs and, you know, the invectives and the inequities, right? You know, and persevere. You know, you to keep pushing forward. And that's the same thing basically why they've written these articles about ICL. You follow me? Like I say, always they want to set the narrative and manipulate our mindset into where, you know, they want us to go. Again, 83rd Psalm, you know, to keep that mindset. Let's deal craftily with them. You see what I'm saying? See, now I don't know if Bill, you understand, Roden sees it that way or not, because he wasn't going to contradict them, you know, because he put it forward that he admired them, you know what I'm saying, and all that. These two Edomite sports writers, right? I don't even know if he really realized, you know, to see the truth of what they actually were doing and what this system does. You follow me? Because they want us to be intertwined in it. As it crumbles, you understand, as I speak, it's crumbling, okay? Right before our eyes, this fourth dominion of man that overspreads the earth, okay? It's crumbling. You follow me? I mean, this daughter of Babylon, the United States of America, right? It's crumbling right before our eyes, okay? Look at the billions they send to the Ukraine. Right? They've already sent 53 billion to the Ukraine to help them Edomites that they call the Ukrainians in Kiev, right, to fight the Russians. This is a whole Edomite orchestrated situation as usual, right? You follow what I'm saying? Divide and conquer, bring these nations into conflict, right? And they'll back all these nations and weaken them at the same time as they're in conflict with one another, right? As the illuminated Amalekite International Bank and Edomite finances all of them. You follow what I'm saying? And gets them into more deeper into their debt. But by the same token, you understand, destroys the flower of these nations' youth, getting them into wars, continual wars. You follow me? Keeping them in fear, keeping them distracted. You understand? Where they cannot understand how they're being manipulated, puppeteered. See, that's what, you understand, is going on. Now, we just heard yesterday, you follow me? They talking about sending another $14 billion over to Zelensky, the Edomite Zelensky, and the Edomites that's with him. Now, they might have a few, you understand, Gentiles, you understand, with them, who's, you know, don't understand how they're being manipulated and you understand, played, you follow me, like a drum, you follow me, but it's basically Edomite inspired, the Jews inspired, as they've done time and time and time again. Like I say, you understand, it started with, back there with the Grecians, in the time of Alexander with Ptolemy, and then with the Diadochi, the generals of Alexander, they divided and conquered. Got into conflict over and over again. And that's what the illuminated Edomite has been doing ever since. Perfecting this, you know, this plan, this ideology that they put, you understand, this manipulative mindsets and control mantras they put on these people who lack understanding, you know what I mean, who don't have any light in them. You follow me? The sword that has been put on the inhabitants of the earth to drive them mad. Mad angry, mad crazy. See? And this is why the Illuminists, you follow me, the Skull and Bone Boys who you understand, are the secondary king, again, 41-9 Yeshaya, right? That Yah has called his movement from, right? Again, when you look up that king in the 41st chapter, Yeshaya, verse 9, and you look it up in the Strong's where it says secondary, extremity. That's the Skull and Bone Boys that run this daughter of Babylon, the United States of America, from day to day. You follow me? See, again, when we started doing the sessions with Mark Sims, and you know, in you know, July, August 2006, it was like, I don't know, 08, 09, going up into 2010, I'm talking about the Illuminati, right? And Yah given that illumination to be able to see and understand his word in the greater depth prophetically, right? And to be able to track these Edomites, these illuminated Edomites, descendants out of Amalek, right? And they became known as the international bankers who set up the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, right? Who set up the World Bank, who set up, as Gerald Salente calls it, the International Mafia Fund, or the IMF, you know, International Monetary Fund, right? You follow me? Who set up these central banks to control these nations, like you understand? Amschel Rothschild said, you understand? You know, back there in the 18th century, let me control the money. You understand? And I don't care who the king is. You follow me? So, you know, when we started talking about these things and putting this out in those sessions with Mark, you know, back there, like I said, 06, 07, 08, 09, 2010, you know, ICL and the brothers, you know, he was still hooked up with them up until around 09, 2010. I think it's 2010 and when the split really jumped off. They heard it, and one day we go over to the restaurant. I think this is around 07, 08, right? Because we had kind of started not going as much because the restaurant had fallen off because, you know, the sister that used to really cook the meals and whatnot, she left. And then the quality of the food went down. And so, and then, you know, it's right around that time, I think it's around 08, that found out about the soy. And we stopped, you know, stopped eating soy. Because that soy is no good for you. And that's what they, you know, in those restaurants, you know, that the brothers opened up, that's what they promulgate, soy. But it's right around that time, and we walked in the restaurant this particular day, and because it's not long before, if I'm not mistaken, before YHWH retired. So like I say, around 08, 09, and we go in the restaurant, and I saw this post up on the wall. She didn't see it, so we went and sat down, you know, at the table. I said, "You see that up on the wall over there?" So YHWH looked, and she said, "What?" She said, they were started giving classes, you know, charging $5, you know, to come hear about the Illuminati. Okay. So she said, "Oh, you say YHWH, they've been listening to the set." I said, "Absolutely, they've been listening." You follow me? And they talked about it. I know they did. That's what made that Donnie Trotter, when I went to the brother who I used to be real close with and considered my brother until he went AWOL on me. Back then, totally went AWOL on me in 1991. When he had the housewarming, he got this house, what, I think it was around the middle, you know, around 2007, something like that. He got the house 2008, maybe 2009, somewhere around in there. And so now, you know, I come around the corner, that Donnie Trotter, you understand, politician who's in the alphas, you'll see him. You might not know, he's, like I said, if you watch those surveys, you'll see him get up there and speak. You know, did his 2 minutes about ICL, said he was his teacher. You know, he jumped up like YHWH, totally different from how he was a few years earlier when he, like some of us, got to work for a living. Because now they didn't heard, you understand, you know, what's coming forth out of y'all righteousness. So they know, you know, they've been working for years, okay? And Yah's been shaping and molding me as he's done others who have come into this movement. See? And those of us who've totally committed and submitted with all our heart and soul, he's steadily given us, you know, knowledge, okay, and understanding. Follow me? And the ability to apply it to, hopefully, always to its highest level. You know, because it's a constant situation where we strive for perfection in serving Yah, magnifying Yah, being obedient to Yah, walking in his laws, statutes, orders, judgments, commandments, and precepts. Because it's lifetime, never ends. We wake up with it, we carry it all through the day, we go to bed with it, we wake up with it the next day, we sleep with it. It's in our thoughts continuously. We do all we can to keep our minds stayed on Yah, so that he will keep us in perfect peace, but also that he will inseminate light, illumination into us on a continuous basis, that he can be magnified by his holy name. And he only has one, it is Yah, YHWH, YHWH. You know, like it says in the 32nd chapter of Deuteronomy, verse 39, I wound, I heal, I kill, I make alive, I do all these things. There is no strange, strong, and idle with me. It's just me. You know, like he says in the 43rd chapter of Yeshaya, I am Savior. And Yah alone. And that's just the reality of it. So don't be tricked. Don't be fooled. Okay? About these false narratives that have been put forth, you know, about these idolaters, whoever and whomever they may be. And again, you watch those services, you're going to hear the name of idols, you know, the Egyptian idol, Amen. You're going to hear the idol that the Edomites put forth, JC, you know, I ain't gonna say, you know what I'm talking about. You follow me? And all these Greek fraternities, all that nonsense. That's what ICL was into. Okay. Democracy Now! Shows for August. August the 10th. You'll see the raid on Socialist Party, the brothers, you know. I think I might have mentioned it last month, but I mentioned it again. That's down there around St. Louis. Democracy Now! On the 19th. You'll see the Palestinians attacked. Talked about that on Democracy Now!, right? Democracy Now! On the 22nd. Talking about painkillers, the opiates, right? Democracy Now! On the 24th. Howard Zinn, you know, and it's, you know, the Edomite, but he was, you know, a peace activist, and he reveals a bunch of stuff about America, the real history about America, not this watered down, you understand, history with all this nonsense. Okay. And on the 30th of August, they talking about, you listen to it, they're talking about the PNAC, okay, and the situation China and the Ukraine, right, and this Jeffrey Sachs. Definitely watch it, because that Jeffrey Sachs, I think he's Edomite, but he's running some stuff down, you know. That's on the 30th of August. And then on the 31st of August, they're talking about the Mississippi situation, the floods and the no water down there in Mississippi, and you'll hear this person talk about his dreams, right? An Israelite talk about his dream, but definitely watch that, Democracy Now! On the 31st of August. And then for September, you'll see on the 1st of September, Democracy Now!, right? They're talking about Google and the Edomite project Nimbus using Google. You understand? Like, you know, spy and whatnot, this Google, all right? And the anti-Palestinians, you know, the anti-Palestinian. So that was on the 1st of September. Then on the 5th, right, again, they're talking about Howard Zinn. They show you Howard Zinn going back when he started to first come on Democracy Now! They show you excerpts, and it's good to watch, because Howard Zinn, like I said, he was Edomite, but he's revealing some stuff. He you know, he wasn't no warmonger. He talks about the warmongers. That's on the 5th of September. And then yesterday, that they got this boy named George Monbiot. And he's talking about the, this new prime minister that they put over there in England, this woman Liz Truss, Truss. But listen to Monbiot, because he running some stuff down too about what's going on over there in England. You understand? And it's good to, check it out. And then today, right, they talking about Shireen Abu Akleh again. You follow me? And they had her niece on there. And she's over here in New York City. You follow me? Talking about now, see, because the Edomites saying maybe it was one of their soldiers that killed her, but it don't matter. We don't care. In other words, right? You understand? But also watch Elie Mystal. He's written a book. You understand? This is an Israelite. He don't know Israel, but he just studied this, you understand, constitution and the way this, you understand, government works. He knows all about into that. And he's running down about how Trump ain't nothing, you understand, he a criminal, okay? And he's telling you why he's saying that, you understand, but he's running some stuff down. And again, Elie Mystal, that was on this morning. And again, the niece of Shireen Abu Akleh, and how they just, how they killed her, murdered her, shot her in the back of the head, knew she was pregnant. I mean, it's unmistakable. But also what they did at her funeral. We've talked about that in the past. How the Edomite, you understand, army attacked her funeral and they almost dropped her casket. The so-called Palestinians. And again, the so-called Palestinians is Israelites. Again, but this is why these things happen to them, because they're in idolatry. Now, and like I said, we supposed to wait on Yah, right? Psalm chapter 40, David talks about it in verse 1. Yeshaya chapter 25, verse 9, we supposed to wait patiently for Yah, right? And again, Yeshaya chapter 26, verse 8, right? For to Yah is for his name, right? You patiently and give credit to his name, not to ourselves, not to any human beings, not to any idols, any inanimate objects, religions. Okay, and again, you just go to Judges chapter 20 to read that. And I mentioned in the past when Israel didn't acknowledge Yah, when they didn't wait on Yah, when they didn't inquire at Yah. Look what happened to them, right? It's also it's talked about in Psalm 106, verse 13. What happened? You understand? Our forefathers, you know what I mean? How they didn't wait on Yah, patiently for Yah. How they got ahead of Yah. You follow what I'm saying? And we've talked about that before. Every time, you understand, our forefathers got ahead of Yah, there's always trouble, just like today. And that's what the Demona movement, they got ahead of Yah. Yah wasn't on the head of them when they left here. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I just reading to you in that 48th chapter of Yeshaya, the first 10 verses. You understand? They didn't know nothing about Yah. They didn't wait on Yah. They didn't know nothing about Yah. They didn't understand anything about Yah. And again, they didn't start really finding out some about Yah until they got the card from here. And that was November, you understand, 1991. You understand? That's when ICL got that card. Through the brother Eliakim, who I've been knowing since 68. Before he became Eliakim, like I just talked about earlier. See? And then a few years later, that's when, they changed the KOY from KOG. Okay, newspaper article. July the 15th, right? Wholesale prices in June up 11.3% from prior year. Energy prices that surged 54%. A key driver pushing index near a new record. Okay? And again, JP Morgan, they got busted, supposedly, right? They supposed to pay the fine for tampering with the gold and silver prices. You understand? Supposedly they was fine. See? But they still tampering with the precious metal prices and commodity prices, because that's what they do. They the government. You understand what I'm saying? Also, high pump prices hit the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. Cost of gasoline in oil-rich petrol state up over 70% after Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. Now, okay? See, and again, this you understand? This inflation is going to continue because all they doing is printing paper. And they're constantly, you know, devaluing the paper more and more and more. Okay? You understand? So they artificially pumping up the dollar. You follow what I'm saying? But, you know, over there in the East, they steadily creating, you understand? Because they just brought forth yesterday on RT International that China and Russia, they ain't fooling with the dollar. Now, I'm wondering how that's going to work with China when they sending all these goods over here. If they just divorce themselves from the dollar. So now, I mean, are we getting ready to start seeing these Chinese products, you understand, go up even more exponentially? Which I'm not doubting. You know, they have been cheap. But if China doesn't stop dealing with the dollar, that means now to purchase their products that they're producing, you understand, you're going to have to go through, you got to get the yuan, the renminbi. You got to get that to purchase their products. You follow what I'm saying? Which will drive the price of the yuan up, the renminbi, right? And then you bring it back here into the dollar, right? How that going to work? You understand what I'm saying? It's got to be high prices in my mind. You follow me? Just like the Russian ruble, you want that Russian oil and gas, you got to switch your currency over into the ruble. And the ruble then went up exponentially, man. It's real powerful. Okay? The ruble. And they was talking about how they getting ready to back, you understand, the ruble, the renminbi, and some other basket of currencies in the BRIC nations. And I hear it's 100 other nations ready to join in with them. Okay? You follow me? And they're going to back it with so much gold and or silver. That's just what's going on, okay? Because we're watching the crumbling of this fourth dominion of man. That's what we're watching. That's what's going on. And there's nothing can stop it, okay? Because just like, you understand, the brother, you know, we was talking here yesterday, and he's like, yo, this water situation. I said, yeah, it's bad. It's going to get worse. And the deal is, the whole climate, everything is coming, you know, for, because man cannot, you understand, the only way man can offset this, the only way man can put a stop to this, man has to come to Yah, our righteousness. That's it. Because Yah is the only one, you understand, can, you know, turn this thing around. He and he alone. Because Yah is the only one can open up those windows to the dome and let all this pollution out. See? And he's basically, you know, what I see he's put forth in the book, YHWH chapter 24, he's not going to do it until this nuclear war jump off. He's going to do it with the fire. That's, you know, like I say, the fire next time. It's water the first time, fire this next time. That's when he's going to open up those windows, YHWH chapter 24, and let all this pollution out. Man has to come to Yah. He's salvation. Again, YHWH chapter 43. He and he alone. Okay. All right. Chicago Tribune, August the 6th. Seaweed clogs Caribbean's coast. Seaweed is clogging the coast. Danger to wildlife, humans affecting businesses as well. Nice size article. Said masses of Sargassum blanket Lakes Beach on Barbados on July 27th. The seaweed is devastating tourism and the environment in the Caribbean. Okay? If you can see it, that's all that brown you see, that's that Sargassum. Seaweed. The brown that you see. Okay? Big article. You know? Says scientists say more research is needed to determine why Sargassum levels in the region are so high. But the United Nations Caribbean Environment Program said possible factors include a rise in water temperatures as a result of climate change and nitrogen-laden fertilizer and sewage that nourish the algae. This year has been the worst year on record. Okay, said this university researcher, Lisa Kremsky. Okay, a program aimed at protecting the coast. It is absolutely devastating for the region. She said large masses of seaweed have severe environmental impact, with the decaying algae altering water temperatures and the pH balance and leading to declines in seagrass, coral, and sponges. they're essentially being smothered out. See, no oxygen, right? The concentration of algae is so heavy in parts of the Eastern Caribbean that the French island of the Guadeloupe issued a health alert in late July. That's what the brother was saying to me yesterday, because he's a fisherman. You know, he's a carpenter by livelihood, but he fishes. And he said, they try to, desalinate this ocean water. He said they can't do it. That water's heavy. So I think what he meant, and what I'm just reading here, when they desalinate the seawater, the ocean water, it doesn't have any oxygen in it. Okay, so you're supposed to get oxygen from drinking water. You understand what I'm saying? Because he said they really can't, they can't do nothing with it. Because I told him, if I remember correctly, what I read some years ago about that desalination, time they spend all this money trying to get the salt out, they still end up with very little water anyway. Okay? See? Always trying to come up with something to get around y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Say they warn some communities about high levels of hydrogen sulfide gas emanating from the huge rotting clumps of seaweed. The gas, which smells like rotten eggs, can affect people with breathing problems such as asthma. There you go. Now, so the Biden administration declared a federal emergency after the U.S. Virgin Islands warned last month of unusually high amounts of sargassum clogging machinery at a desalination plant near St. Croix that is struggling to produce water and meet demand amid a drought. There you go. Okay? Can't do it. You can't get around y'all. In addition, the U.S. Virgin Islands electricity generating station relies on ultra pure water from the desalination plant to reduce emissions. See, it got to be ultra pure. The loss of such water would force the government to use a type of diesel fuel that is more expensive and in limited supply. See, more money, right? It says an oceanographer named Kumain Hu, professor at the University of South Florida, who helps produce the seaweed report, said sargassum levels for the Eastern Caribbean were at a near record high this year, second only to those reported in July 2018. Levels in the Northern Caribbean are at their third highest level. Experts first noticed large amounts of sargassum in the Caribbean Sea in 2011, and the problem has occurred practically every year since then. Sargassum in moderation helps purify water and absorb carbon dioxide and is a key part of the habitat for fish, turtles, shrimp, crabs, and other creatures. It is also used in fertilizer, food, biofuel, construction materials, and medicinal products. But it is bad for tourism and the environment when too much accumulates just offshore or on beaches. Say, this is the worst we've ever seen it for sure, said Melanie Reveur, general manager for a tour company in the Dutch Caribbean territory of Saint Martin, which shares an island with Saint Martin. It did ruin my personal beach plans, okay? Masses of sargassum also have strangled the Caribbean's fishing industry. It damages both engines and fishing gear, prevents fishermen from reaching their vessels and fishing grounds, and leads to a drop in the number of fish caught. Okay? You understand? Domino effect, huh? It says also taps run dry across drought-stricken Mexico. You hear that? Taps run dry. Water drying up. Then, like I said, Yeshua chapter 42. Then y'all say you gonna dry up the pools? Dry up the herbs? Because you don't have any water to irrigate. And you can't irrigate with ocean water. You can't have that salt in there. Said parts of Monterey have been without water for 75 days. Mexico, or large parts of it, is running out of water. That's the first line in the story. So I really don't have to read anymore, do I? Y'all at work. We watching the hand of y'all at work. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Chicago Sun-Times, August the 7th. Arbery shooter fears he'll be killed in state prison. That's that Travis McMichael. Now they said, you send me to state prison, they waiting on it to kill. So he want to be sent to a federal prison. Now they committed murder, and they're like, okay, no, they want to tell the government where they want to be sent to do their time, life sentence, right? Also, regulators investigating Tesla crashes that killed 2 motorcyclists, right? Because again, these Tesla cars, they're making them with this automatic drive pilot, and they've been having a lot of crashes. They don't even talk about all the crashes that they've been having. Okay? And check this, I say, Michael Brooks, acting executive director of the nonprofit Center for Auto Safety, called on NHTSA to recall Tesla's autopilot because it is not recognizing motorcyclists, emergency vehicles, or pedestrians. So it's not, it's not recognizing these people or these obstacles, motorcycles or emergency vehicles or pedestrians. It just runs and hits them, right? So it's pretty clear to me, and it should be to a lot of Tesla owners by now, this stuff isn't working properly, and it's not going to live up to the expectation, and it is putting innocent people in danger on the road, Brooks said. Okay, it says since 2016, the NHTSA has sent teams to 39 crashes in which automated driving systems are suspected of being in use, according to agency documents. Of those, 30 involved Teslas, including crashes that caused 19 deaths. I'm pretty sure I said in the past that this automatic driving, you know what I mean, wasn't going to work, and they're going to have a lot of crashes behind it. Here it is, right? Drivers are being lured into thinking this protects them and others on the road, and it's just not working. Okay? Say Brooks criticized the agency for continuing to investigate but not taking action. What the hell are they doing while these crashes continue to occur, he asked. Right? The Tesla CEO Elon Musk has eliminated use of radar from his systems and relies solely on cameras and computer memory. Okay? Elon Musk is a Edomite. I know that. Brooks and other safety advocates say the lack of radar hurts vision in the darkness. Messages were left seeking comment from Tesla, which has disbanded its media relations department. Okay, because they don't want to have to talk about these accidents, right? Say Tesla has said that autopilot and full self-driving cannot drive themselves, and that drivers should be ready to intervene at all times. Okay, so you got something supposed to be self-driving, but it's really not. You got to stay alert. If that's the case, you might as well keep your hands on the wheel and drive, right? But they say some of these people, they get this self-driving vehicle, they go to sleep. Okay, thinking that the vehicle gonna do everything, right? Boy. Huh? Hegel said back there, was it him or Adam Weishaupt? I can't remember. I think it might have been Adam Weishaupt back there in the 18th century. What did he say? What won't man believe? Say man to believe anything, right? Right? Just like I just read about Isaiah, where they say his beliefs, right? That's exactly what they were. Because Isaiah didn't have no grasp of the book. Not really. He didn't really understand. He didn't. He got idols in his heart. He in the Greek fraternities and all that nonsense. He, like I say, you know what I mean? You watch the services, his friend, this Reverend Hardy, you understand? Like I'm pretty sure I said in the past, he had him call here one Sabbath some years back. You understand? Back there when we were doing the sessions, I think around 2010, somewhere around there. And one Sabbath, it was like maybe late morning, around noon, maybe something like that. This Hardy calls here. You understand? And I recognized his voice. And, after a while, right, I recognized who it was. I said, who is it? He said, oh, this is Reverend East. Okay? Because his church is down here in the city on the east side, right? And he's like, this is Reverend East. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's sitting talking to me, and I figure ICL done got him the call here. You understand what I mean? And more than likely, it's around that time. I can't remember exactly when. It might have probably been '09, maybe, when we was doing the sessions with Mark, right? But he called here because it's before the split. Okay, it's before the split of ICL and Benefit. Okay, so maybe around '08, '09, maybe '07, because it's been a while ago. And he called me on the 7th, and I recognized his voice. And you see him, he gonna speak after FireCon in ICL services. You know what I mean? And he went through his gyrations. You know what I mean? This Reverend Hardy, right? But I tell you, man, it's whew, man, something else, right? Also, U.S. proposes to increase flight refund protections. Okay, airlines prefer to hand out travel vouchers instead of refunds. I know that's true. They don't want to turn no money back. Currently, airlines are required to offer refunds to passengers whose flights are canceled or significantly changed, but it is never defined a cancellation or significant change. Because of that, airlines have challenged the Transportation Department's authority to force them to pay refunds. They don't want to give no money back. You know what I mean? I tell you, man, this thing is a mess. It's just a mess. And people are so blind. That's what the brother was saying to me yesterday. He's like, you, man, he said, man, these people are just, he said, they gone. He said, they can't understand a thing. I said, I hear you, bro. But I quoted to him what it says over there in YHWH chapter 60, right? The earth is in darkness, and the people of the earth, what? In gross darkness. And that is so true. That is so true. Just like they got an article, it says saliva, right? A key defense against toxins, microorganisms. See? But, it's a sister that works at, one of these stores I go to, right? And, Whole Foods, she wear a mask. She cashier. I've been seeing her for a long time now. Young sister. And she, I had never seen her face. She wear that mask all the time. Covering her nose, covering her mouth. So here the other week, I go into the store, right? And she doesn't have the mask on. So when I get up there, because we didn't have conversations, man. And she like, I said, sis, this is the first time. Because she got real pretty hair, right? I told her once, I said, your hair is beautiful. She said, oh, we was talking. So I got up there, I said, sis, this is the first time I ever saw you with that mask on. and because she had some breakout around her mouth, right? And she said, yeah, this, she called it acne, right? So I didn't go into the, what I mean? She's called it acne. I'm like, okay, I didn't say nothing, She said, yeah, it's like, it's causing me to break out, man. She said, I couldn't really breathe. I said, yeah. All I said was, when she said that to me, I said, yeah, that mask, wearing that mask is not good. She said, yeah. She said, and she's pregnant. But she said she got a child. And she said she's pregnant now. And she said she had a miscarriage once, and now she's pregnant again. And she's concerned. I said, yeah. I said, you know what I mean? You got to be able to breathe. So that's all I said. You know what I mean? But you can see she had broken out. That's what it does. Because that saliva, man, you got to be able to breathe, man. I mean, Chicago Sun-Time, August 7th. Man who destroyed vast swaths of Amazon forest wins park's demise. Okay? Said the loss of the park is a measure of how bad things are today for the Amazon. Not only are environmental laws going unenforced, now a court has invalidated a major protected area. Scientists say not only are ecosystems being lost, but massive deforestation is damaging the forest's ability to absorb carbon dioxide, a crucial role it plays for the earth. Yeah. Okay? And this is out of Rio de Janeiro over there in Brazil. Man and his stupidity. And basically, the illuminated Edomite. Chicago Sun-Time, August the 7th. The Israelis, the Edomites, right? Militants trade fire as Gaza death toll climbs to 24. Because they killing, you know, Israelites, so-called Palestinians, every day over there. Okay? Every day. They killing, you understand? Israelites, so-called Palestinians. You know, Palestinians who don't know they Israel. Okay? Say the fighting began with the Israelis killing of a senior commander of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad militant group in a wave of strikes Friday that the Israelis said were meant to prevent an imminent attack. You know, because I don't like saying Israel in regards to the Edomites, because they Edomites. You know, they're Jews. See, but I say Edomites because you got so many of us that think we Jews. You understand what I'm saying? The Edomites. That's who's got the land. That's who's holding the land by the sword. Not Israel, right? Chicago Tribune, August the 7th. Hiroshima, remembering a new and most crucial, Hiroshima, remembering a new and most cruel bomb. Okay? Okay? They dropped that bomb, testing it twice. And Japan was already defeated before they dropped the first nuclear bomb, right, on Hiroshima. And then on Nagasaki, Japan was already defeated. Because they was basically defeated before the war even started. But after the 30 seconds over Tokyo, you understand, with that the Doolittle leading that, you know, they dropped over, man, they dropped all them incendiaries, you understand, on Tokyo. You just wiped it out. Japan was defeated then. So it wasn't no need to drop 2 nuclear bombs. They did that. They wanted to see the effects of the nuclear bombs. So they used the Japanese like guinea pigs, like they do, you know, time and time again, right? Okay, now I circled this down here at the bottom about the 9/11 files, just as the full truth behind the 9/11 attack and the missed clues beforehand, including the long-hidden classified Saudi files, had to come out so that the ignoramuses like Donald Trump couldn't claim nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11. Well, he can say it and does say it, but it's transparently untrue. So must the full truth of what happened regarding the deadly toxins unleashed into the air when the World Trade Center collapsed into a miles-high column of pulverized concrete, steel, and glass, and plastics, right? I'm adding the plastics. Lawyers for the city of New York are sitting on a hidden library of documents about the environmental and health hazards from ground zero dating back to 2001 that must be published. Survivors and responders want to know what the city knew. Representatives Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney have been pressing for years for City Hall to release the archive. The Daily News now reports that lawyers for Mayor Eric Adams are willing to relent, but only if Congress grants the city immunity from any future lawsuits. You hear that? Anyone whose health was damaged by exposure to WTC debris, you know, World Trade Center debris, and joined the federal 9/11 Victim Compensation Fund, which has paid out in excess of $10 billion to more than 45,000 people, gave up their right to sue, so it's hard to imagine anyone bringing a legal claim. The point isn't about cash, but the truth, the whole truth, like in the oath witnesses take in court. That's what is needed here. Mr. Mayor, override the lawyers and publish the full record. Now, this is an editorial from the New York Daily News. But again, you know, it's an inside job. Illuminated Edomites, Scully Mom Boys. And again, it was Edomites that was sent here who set the charges. Those are the ones, who was on top of that roof when the buildings went down. They was giving high fives. I talked about it in the past. A woman saw it in a building, you know, that was overlooking this building, and she called the police. Police arrested them, took them in. It was all Edomites from the land, from Israel. and they put them all on a plane and sent them over to Israel. You ain't heard no more about that. Okay? You follow me? Inside job. And again, Marvin Bush, one of the Bush family, right, was head of security over the trade centers, leading up to the destruction of the trade centers, bombing of the trade centers, bringing them down. Do I have to say any more? Skull and Bone Boy, right? Chicago Tribune, August the 7th. Israeli strikes in Gaza spur further exchange of fire. Like I said, they you know, the Edomites killing, you understand, so-called Palestinians who are really Israelites every day, bombing their home. They just blew up a home here yesterday, one of the Palestinians, and I think killed him too and blew his home up, which is against international law. You understand what I'm saying? That was on Democracy Now! On the news section yesterday. See, so, you know, that goes on every day over there. Just like, you know, we get killed over here and whatnot. And Israel, you know, y'all's putting it on Israel. You know what I mean? Because y'all can be found. And you got, you know, 90-something% seem like to me, the Israelites not looking for salvation, not looking for truth, not looking for righteousness, not looking for peace, not looking for equity with all their heart, not looking for the true and living creator with all their heart. Right? Chicago Tribune, August the 7th. Seizing the moment in another pandemic fallout, used car prices are way up and the repo man is back. Okay? Because it says this person, he had a Camaro. His name was Wishout. And said they resold the car that they repoed from him. He missed a couple of payments. They repoed his car because they got the device to be able to track these cars down if somebody missed a payment. So he was out of town and he left his car in the airport lot. But you understand, he missed a couple of payments and they went to the lot and pulled it, you know, tracked it down, repoed his car. When he came back into town, his car was gone. He found out it had been repossessed. Before he could, you know, get there, they done resold his car for even more money than what he paid for it. They still want him to pay on the car because he missed a few payments. They repossessed it and then resold it that quick for higher money, for more money than what he paid for it. Okay, so and that's what's going on with a lot, you know, a lot of these used cars. You get them. They got that device on there. If you stop missing them payments, miss a couple of payments, they hit that, you know, tracker, and they find the car. They gonna pull it and then put it back on the open market, and it sells like that because they get big money for these used vehicles. See, that's what's going on. Okay, and you know probably some of these used car dealers probably have in the agreement, right? You missed 2 payments in a row or 3 payments in a row, we can repossess it. You follow what I'm saying? And resell it. Okay? But you still owe them the money. You follow me? Chicago Tribune, August the 8th. The Israelis, Palestinians agreed to a truce, right? The Edomites never, you know, they never regard these truces because they end up still keep killing Palestinians, blowing up their homes and all kind of nonsense. Okay? And again, the Amnesty International condemns what these Edomites killing these Palestinians, taking control of their land, blowing up their homes. Okay? Okay? I tell you, man. See, and again, there's Zelensky, Edomite, and the Edomites in Kiev in the west Ukraine, they've been bombing Donbass in the east, Ukraine, real Ukrainian, Russian Ukrainians in the east for the last 8 years, since 2014. Like I said, they've already sent 53 billion, this government sent $53 billion over there to Zelensky, the Edomites in the western Ukraine. You know, they didn't got them, you know, Russia had no choice. They had to come in. You understand what I mean? They've been pushing at Russia, man, for years, even before 2014. They've been pushing at Russia, lying to them, deceiving them, and steady encroaching on Russian territory. Till Russia had to come in shut down these bio labs. Now, I know if all of you probably heard, you understand, last week, you follow me, the Mediamites, Zelensky and them, they done shelled near that nuclear plant over there in the Ukraine. Supposed to be the biggest nuclear plant in the world, right? And the Russians more than likely probably went in there to protect that nuclear plant to stop them. Well, you know they're gonna print over here is Russia. They say they don't know who it is. Yeah, Russia saying it's the Edomites, you know, the Ukrainians in the West, Zelensky and them. Zelensky saying it's the Russians, right? But you know more than likely it's Zelensky and them because they losing. There's no way they can beat Russia. You understand what I'm saying? And it's similar to, you know, like that Edomite they called here in December 2010. What did he say to me? You understand? We'll destroy the whole earth before we allow a black man to sit on it. So now, what is he really saying to me? We'll destroy the whole earth before we allow an Israelite to sit on that throne in Jerusalem, you know, the throne of David. We'll destroy the whole earth because they know that, you know, that's the end of their dominion. And they see it happening. I mean, they got it in this book. Same way I'm reading. Those of you out there who read the book of remembrance, who understand what you read, you see the end of their dominion coming. You understand what I'm saying? Just like I see it, they see it. They hot. They upset. That's why, you know, he called it, we'll destroy the whole earth before we allow you to have dominion. You know what I mean? In other words, and it's not, you understand, in the sense, it's not our dominion. You know, those of us of Yisrael that return to Yah, and he establishes us in, it's his dominion. It's Yah's dominion. Okay? The whole, you understand? For Yah is the kingdom, and the dominion is his, right? It's coming around full circle. Coming back to the first dominion that was ever on earth, was Yah's dominion. That's coming full circle. Again, Micah chapter 4, the first dominion, right? Oh, man, I tell you, this is something else. Chicago Tribune, August the 9th. Trump says FBI search resort. Raid aimed at material brought to Mar-a-Lago home. And again, I look at all of that totally distraction. They number part, like I said earlier, one of the rings in the 7-ring circus. You know what I mean? A distraction. You follow me? And Trump right in there with it. He's supposed to be against the deep state. He ain't against no deep state. He with them. You understand? Like I said in the past, they put him in there because he wasn't in with the Clintons. He wasn't in with the regular clique to try to make these Gentiles and whoever else they could get to think this way, you know, that Trump's against the deep state. Like, you understand? Like he could exist. He could go against these illuminated Edomites and these skull and bone boys. You follow what I'm saying? The only thing, as I said time and again through the years, the only thing that can stop these Illuminists, these Illuminati, International Banking Edomites, is Yah righteousness, which you see behind me. That's it. And the only reason Yah righteousness is going to do it is why? Again, Ezekiel 36 verse 22, for his holy name's sake. What you see on, you know, over my shoulder behind me on the wall. Yah, our righteousness. You got one name and one name only. Because you're going to hear Farrakhan, if you watch the you know, the services of ICF, when Farrakhan talks, you're going to hear Farrakhan, he going to say, it don't make no difference, you know, what you call it. You're going to hear him say that. You follow me? It don't make no difference what you call the creator. Okay? Now, how much sense does that make? You follow me? Woo, man. Chicago Sun-Times, August 13th. Trump's paper fail. Unsealed court records reveal FBI seized classified records. Agents in investigating whether 3 laws violated. Now, if these papers were so important, so top secret, so vital to the security of this United States of America, why did it take them 18 months to finally go in and get these papers? You mean to tell me they didn't miss them before like 17 months and a week? 2 weeks or something? It took them that long to miss them, but they so vital? You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing but game. That's all it is. Nothing but game. You know, just like over here they got the truth behind Trump's false claim that Obama kept 33 million documents. You know, more intrigue. You know, like a soap opera. You follow what I'm saying? You know, tune in tomorrow, you know, for the next episode. Okay? Nothing but nonsense. Chicago Sun-Times, August the 13th. Author Salman Rushdie stabbed on lecture stage in New York. Okay, you know, I know y'all probably heard about that. He didn't get killed, but he lost an eye and he got messed up. You know, because he's talking against Islam. Now that same fervor that young Muslim guy had, you understand, for Islam, that's what you see when y'all talks about it in Micah chapter 5, in Zechariah chapter 12 and chapter 13. When Jerusalem movement is brought back and set in the midst of his sisters, and like I said, the first thing, okay, all who's for y'all come under us. All who's about y'all. Now, you're going to have some that's going to say, yeah, they're about y'all, and they really going to be for y'all, right? You're going to have some going to say they're about y'all, and they really not, right? Again, but you're going to have a lot in the land, they're not going to be about y'all at all. And they're not going to claim they're about y'all. But once we get to tearing down the idols and images, and you know that Dome of the Rock got to come down, because that's where the first two temples of Yah sit, and that's where the third one gonna sit, right? All the idolatries got to come down. We're gonna get attacked by these, fanatical Islamists, that is in the book of Assyria today. They are Iraq, and they're gonna come in and attack us, and that's when y'all gonna get rid of 2/3 of the people who in the land, in and around Jerusalem, in the land that's not really totally committed to him. But he's going to bring through that third that is. Right? And that's Zechariah chapter 12, chapter 13, like I said, Micah chapter 5. Chicago Tribune, August the 12th. Analysis. Arctic warming up faster than earlier estimates. Okay? That heat, wildfire spread, fish die off amid Europe's severe drought. That's over in Europe. You hear that? Europe's severe drought. Y'all drying up the water like he said he was going to do. This is across the earth. This is happening all across the earth. Fish dying. Didn't he say that fish gonna stink in the 42nd chapter of Yeshua? Huh? I tell you, man. Arctic warming up. The ice caps melting. Glaciers melting at a rapid rate. Huh? That's why we know, you understand, it's got to be close to the Edomites getting judged over in the land. Because again, the cover's been pulled all off then, so that they can be seen for the murderers, the liars, the deceivers, the robbers, that they are. That's what this movement been doing since y'all started to bring this movement into the public eye back then, July, August 2006. Again, Yeshua chapter 33. You understand what I'm saying? When they started to hew Lebanon down regarding no man. Dropped over 1 million cluster bombs. Right? We've been talking about the Edomites ever since. Since y'all brought this movement in the public eye. I was talking with some people here the other week. I think we the only movement that even mentions the Edomites. That even mentions the term Edomites. You understand what I'm saying? You might add one, two kind of mention, but we don't want to talk about them on a regular basis. You understand? Pulling the covers off of them. That's why it says in Yeshua chapter 28, the bed is shorter than the person can stretch out on, the covering narrower than the Edomites can wrap themselves up in. Because their covenant with the grave has been disannulled. Y'all's disannulled that. You understand? As he says that when the overflowing scourge punishment comes through, they're going to be tried down bad. Because it's time for their judgment. You know what I mean? They got to get judged for everything they've done. Recompense. Everybody gets recompensed. You follow what I'm saying? Just like I said, I mean, he's diabetic. Slowly, dying, over the years. And again, like I said, I know he's been a diabetic for about the last 25 years before he finally transitioned. And I was told just here the other week, he had prostate cancer too. They didn't mention that in the service. Follow what I'm saying? But the diabetes is enough. Like I said, he told Farrakhan said this. He's gonna stop taking dialysis. Now, if you got the menu of life, why you a diabetic? That's not, you understand what I mean? That doesn't make any sense, right? If you're supposed to know how to eat, feed yourself, the diet to life and not death, should I say the menu, you're supposed to have the menu of life, but he did have the diet, right? But he didn't have the menu of life, which is part of eating flesh, eating meat. As Yah says in Leviticus 11, you shall eat meat. But he differentiates from the clean and the unclean. And we're not supposed to eat the blood or the fat. Follow what I'm saying? Like I said, when Esau says to me, you understand, that time in the restaurant, he like, Yudah, you understand, you can't cook the blood out. I said, well, we do it all the time. We just did it the other day. We just had a steak the other day. We cook the blood out. We don't eat the fat. You know, like, I didn't say to him, you understand, brother, are you understanding? Because I did say this. It got to one point. He said something. I can't even remember exactly what it was. And to what I said, well, evidently, I just see something you don't. And when I said that, he got that real arrogant look on his face. You know what I mean? Because I didn't say it nasty. I just said, well, evidently, you know, I see some things you don't. And he like, he looked at me with this arrogant look. You know what I mean? And he says, you know, which again, let me know he read the flyer that we had sent to him years earlier, right? You understand? On the third page, what does it say on the flyer? Don't be prideful and stiff-necked, right? And so he looked at me, he kind of reared back in his seat. He got this real, you know, nasty look on his face. He said, that sounds arrogant to me. Okay. And I said, I know, you know, McCall, that's his stepdaughter, that they sent over to the movement to, you know, as an agent. See, but like I said, when you an agent, you go into the movement, you understand? You got to reveal some stuff too, right? Because like I said, I don't hide anything. There's nothing to hide. You follow what I'm saying? So I told him, I said, I know McCall let you know. I know you understand? She told you we don't have any animosity toward this movement at all. And when I said that, his whole expression changed. He looked at me like he was ready to cry. Because he knows how we embraced her and how we dealt with her. You understand? In the situation that she, you know, that they put her in, that they nudged her into. You follow what I'm saying? Okay? And he saw how, you know, she was dealt with. And his whole expression changed. Okay? Like I said, look like he ready to cry. You did? Because again, that's what I told Yada when the deal went down with her. And that situation went in unfold. I told Yada, I said, you know, we're gonna do so and so because I know they watching. And if we don't, even though it was not of my making, okay, it wasn't of Yada's making. You understand what I'm saying? But as I said, we got to do this because I know if we don't, they're gonna point the finger at this movement. And they're gonna want to condemn this movement for what really they orchestrated. Because like I said, I was told in 81, okay, they put women on guys to bring them in. So that's kind of like prostituting. You understand what I'm saying? You're women. Yeah, you know, they ain't supposed to do that. You understand? Y'all wants people to come to him for what's in their heart. Isn't that what we see in Yeremiah chapter 17? The heart is deceitful above all things, desperately wicked, who can know it? Yah tries the heart of everyone to give everyone according to what? As I said, their desires, their ways. Because Yah judges everybody according to their deeds. Right? Okay? Tribune, Chicago Tribune, August the 12th. Billions pour into bioplastics as markets begin ramping up. Bioplastics. More pollution. Okay? So bioplastics have long been used in medical applications. The stitches you got after cutting your hand slicing onions were likely made of a bioplastic thread that harmlessly dissolved into your body. You hear that? They're going to tell you it's harmless. Dissolved into your body. Plastics. Bioplastics. But the nascent bioplastics industry envisions a far bigger role for materials made from corn, sugar, vegetable oils, and other renewable materials in the hope of grabbing a larger share of a nearly $600 billion world plastic market. All about the dollars. It's all about the dollars. Okay? See, so again, these bioplastics, synthetic, dissolve into your body. They're going to tell you it's harmless. See how they try to shape and mold your mind? Now you explain to me how any kind of plastics of any kind, synthetics, dissolve into your body and is harmless. Okay? Because again, we was listening, like I said earlier, to Max Blumenthal here a week. And he was running some stuff down on this podcast. And he was like, they try to tell you, they tell you that, all this green, so-called green energy, right? You understand? Solar panels is okay. It's not. They emit the EMFs, right? Electromagnetic frequencies. You follow me? It's not conducive for human. You understand? These solar panels, right? He said they tell you, you follow me, these turbines, wind turbines are good. He said, but those wind turbines kill thousands and thousands of birds every year. Every year. Right? And he also said those wind turbines, they're made, the blades, they're made out of fiberglass. He said they only last like 15 years as they deteriorate. And because that's fiberglass, that's emitting all that into the atmosphere. He said that's not good. And then he said, this stuff is a lot of they claim, this stuff is okay, but it's coal propelled. They still using coal. And they didn't up the use of coal, not lessened it. So they just piling on. You follow me? With this pollutants. Okay? With these pollutants into the atmosphere. You follow me? And they keep telling you, just like now, you're coming out with the EV, the electric vehicles, right? Which again, that's why they cooled the boy Evo Morales in Bolivia here the other year, right? And Elon Musk put a lot of money to his, coup d'etat. And Elon Musk, what he said, we'll coup anybody we want, right? You understand? Just like I said on last session, John Bolton, you understand, who was with Trump's administration, right? John Bolton, who go all the way back there to the old man Bush's administration, maybe Reagan too. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So how can Trump be against the deep state? You understand? John Bolton, what did he just reveal here? A few weeks ago, he like, when somebody asked him, I saw the excerpt is on Democracy Now! He said, coups are not difficult. And John Bolton said, coups are very difficult. It takes a lot of planning to coup. You understand, we done coup plenty of nations. It takes a lot of planning. Okay? That's what America does. Coup d'etats. And that's the history of America. That's, again, what, you understand, when I say, watch that Howard Zinn. He's Edomite, but he's running it down. Like I say, you can't judge a book by its cover. We don't hate Edomites. You follow what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with Edomites as long as they acknowledge that they're Edomite. As long as they ain't talking about their Israel. Edomites not talking about their Israel, I ain't got no problem with them per se. You understand what I mean? If they like Howard Zinn, if they about peace. But you talking about some Edomites talking about their Israel, then we got a problem. Now, you understand, Edomites advancing idolatry and you understand what I'm saying? Militarism, we got a problem. Simple as that. You follow me? Same thing with Israelites that advancing this. Advancing idolatry. I ain't got nothing for them. Simple as that. Now I know it's plenty who don't understand what they doing. See? But generally, they so prideful, like I said on the last session. These people I've been knowing for 40, 45, 50 years, over 50. You understand? They in all this nonsense, and like I said, on the last session, back in June, you understand, back in July, you look good. But none of them gonna ask me, what am I doing? Because they know. So they ain't gonna say, what do you do, YHWH? You understand? Do you work out? Do you eat a certain way? Because look, I was in the health food store, one of the health food stores I go to here a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. And I had been getting this gravy mix. You understand? That's in this you know, like a box. And it's beef gravy mix. And they, you know, used to have it at Whole Foods, but they stopped having it, right? So I did another health food store. I went and I said, you know, and so when I got up to the counter, I had some other things. When I got up to the counter, the sister, you know, wait on me all the time. Her and another sister, you know, we talked. So she said, you find everything? I said, oh, yeah, except this gravy mix that I was looking to see if you had. And when I said that, her head was snapped around. She looked at me and she said, gravy mix? I said, yeah. She said, I thought you was a vegetarian. She said, I thought you was a vegetarian. I'm like, no. She said, no. I said, no. I said, I eat meat. I just eat certain meats. I don't eat, you know. And so I said, you know, I don't eat all meats. I don't eat chicken. And then she looked at me again. I said, I don't eat chicken. I don't eat turkey. I said, you know, I don't eat pork. She like shook her head because, you know, most people, they know pork basically ain't no good, right? Even though some of them might still eat it, right? But she looked at me and she said, boy, I thought you was vegetarian. I said, oh. And then when I told her I didn't eat chicken and turkey, she looked again. Okay? Because you get most of these people in supposedly in health, they don't eat no pork, right? But they don't eat no beef, but they eat chicken and turkey, thinking they eat, you know, it's all right. See? Follow what I'm saying? Tell you, boy, you know, a lot of confusion in this world today. A lot of confusion. So bioplastic, $600 billion plastic market. See, all about the dollars. You know, want to make some more money, right? It's like one of my guys. He the youngest one of these brothers. You know what I'm saying? And he ex-police. He done retired a few years ago, right? And he still went back working for the police. Not you know, as a carrying a gun, you know, per se, you know, chasing criminals. He you know, scrutinizes applications to become a police. That's what he does now. And you know, he came over. You know, I was with all of them. You know, 4 brothers, and here the other month, right? About a week or so after their father had transitioned, and so you know, I went over one, and they all eventually came over there. We was all sitting there, you know, and I had brought a bottle of, you know, cold champagne, popped it open. We were sitting there, and the boys wasn't sitting there with them because we hadn't sat like that in a long time. And we was talking, and he was really looking like, you know, down kind of. You know, he was the last one to get there, came from the job, right? And I told him, you can't make all the money. You know what I mean? You retired. You know, and his wife got a good job. You know what I mean? You can't make all the money because she's gonna be retiring in about another year or two. You know, man, you know, take it easy. Enjoy some of this. You know, relax. You know what I mean? But he going to work. You know what I mean? You got so many people like that, right? Chicago Tribune, August the 13th, right? Black NFL retirees win dementia cases. You follow me? In this article, they telling you how when they came up with that, you know, what's it called? A CDE. You know what I'm saying? And the ex-footballers, you know, players sued the National Football League, right? Because they had all them hits on their head. You know, they got that CDE. You know what I'm saying? A form of dementia, just messing them up. A lot of them commit suicide, died, you know, really horrible deaths. You know, it's a form of dementia, right? So the NFL settled, but you understand, a lot of the brothers, right, Israelites, right, they didn't get what the Caucasian football players got. You follow me? You follow me? And that's this article talking about that, right? Say 2 years after a pair of former players sued the NFL over the treatment of black retirees in the league's $1 billion concussion settlement, hundreds of men whose medical tests were rescored to eliminate race bias now qualify for awards. You hear that? They had to take a test and it was racially, you know, they're biased. Where the Israelite, quote unquote, black ball player didn't get nowhere near what the Caucasian ball players got. So they filed a suit against them, and now they recalculated, right? And so they said of the 646 black men whose tests were rescored, nearly half now qualify. See, still not all of them, right? Nearly half qualify for dementia awards. 61 are classified as having early to moderate dementia, with average awards topping $600,000. Okay, nearly 250 more have milder dementia and will get up to $35,000. Okay, enhanced medical testing and treatment. See, no equity. Chapter 59, you're shot. So they had to resue, you understand, to try to get, what they should have got the first time around. Okay, and here the other week, Rivka out of California, she had put up, where I had said on that last session, I read that little piece about Bill Russell, because, Bill Russell, he stood up a lot of times for us as a people. Okay, a lot of times. That's why I said at the end, that's what he wanted to be known as, a man. And Father, so he's a man. Now, another person, you understand, a sister, she like, come on, he Bill Russell wasn't about it. He had all the white women. He married white women. His last wife was a Caucasian woman. I'm like, hey, you understand? His first wife was an Israelite. But then I saw later he was married to his first wife, Israelite. That's who he had his 3 children by. They was married for 16 years, and then they divorced. And then his last, the way it's said in the paper or what we read on, it might have been on the internet. His next wife was a Caucasian. She died. Then he hooked up with another Caucasian. They broke up after a while. His last wife was a Caucasian, looked like a Caucasian. But hey, that's what he wanted to do. But again, his first wife was a sister. So I mean, but he always stood up for a lot of times for us as a people. He just, he didn't understand who he was. But again, Rivka put up here a few weeks back that he took the shot. I didn't know that. And then y'all brought it up. I saw it. He took the shot about a year, I think about a year ago. He took the shot. Boom, gone. Follow me? Like Hang On. Not as quick as Hang On. DMX, Larry King, the Edomite, right? Mary Wilson, right? Ex-Supreme. Marvin Hagman. Quick. Some of them go quick, some of them take a little long. Right? Chicago Sun-Times, August the 14th. Polio detected in New York City sewage, suggested virus circulated. So now, like we was talking yesterday, this brother, and he said, I don't drink no tap water. I said, I hear you, bro. Now, because again, as I said to him, y'all have been saying ever since we've been hooked up, she said, she don't drink no tap water because she said the water you flush today, you be drinking tomorrow. They recycling sewage water. And the brother I was talking to yesterday, he said, he said, they try to put all this stuff, chlorination and whatnot, to clean up this tap water so that you can drink. He said, you can't clean up no sewer water. I hear you, bro. Okay, you follow me? But again, it's something, because again, a lot of people, they can't afford to really pay for any water, and this water's messed up. Again, that's why it's so imperative that we go to the Creator. I don't care whether you Israelite, Hamite, Shemite, Yephite, Edomite. We go to Yah. We submit and obey. We get in harmony with His laws, statutes, orders, judgments, commandments, and precepts. Again, with all our heart and all our soul. And then Yah is going to take care of you. He's going to give you what you need without question. He's going to give you what you need. See, now again, whomever you may be, you got to go through that period of, being judged to whatever degree He's going to judge you for what you've done, your iniquity, your sins. And once you work your way out of that, it's time to go back. You work your way into the positive. You wipe away your slate, and because you building He giving you a clean slate. Ezekiel 18, right? Ezekiel 18, right? Chicago Sun-Times, August the 14th. Francis meets transgender guest of Rome Church. Francis, the Pope, right, has earned praise from some members of the LGBTQ community for his outreach. When asked in 2013 about a purportedly gay priest, he replied, Who am I to judge? Okay? Now, if that's some nonsense, you know what I mean? This the Pope. He said, who am I to judge? Well, again, that's what Yah gives us his laws, statutes, orders, judgments, commandments, and precepts for. To use to judge ourselves, everybody, and everything. See? So right there lets you know this Francis the Pope, he's not about the creator at all. Because he going to say, who am I to judge? See? Because I know more likely he's a pedophile, you understand, a homosexual too. Okay? That's what they are up there in that lie and thing. You understand that Vatican, all that nonsense. Right? Boy, say he has met individually and in groups with transgender people over the course of his pontificate. Yeah, boy. Bunch of hypocrites. That's what they are. Chicago Sun-Times, August the 14th. Okay, again, healthy fats have many benefits. Here's how to include them into your, menu. And they tell you about, vegetable oils such as olive. They got safflower and corn, sesame. See, now they got canola here, but that's a no-no. That canola is a rapeseed. They got walnut, and then they got soybean. That's rapeseed. That soybean and canola is not good. Okay. And then they say, fish is good to eat. And matter of fact, I think I had this article here before, got mixed in. I read it on the last session. That's why I say, and I made the mistake of saying herring when I meant to say bristling, right? But herring is an okay fish. But like I said, Brother Raphael, that's who I was talking to yesterday too. He fishes. He's a carpenter too. But he said that herring is a good fish. Because I haven't had herring, but I've had sardines, not the bristling though. But now you don't know what you get. You know what I mean? Because they put these bristlings in the can, label them as sardines. You don't know what you get. So I just had to basically leave them alone, right? But he still gets sardines because he gets some, from a place in New York where at least he was born there. He's working there. But gotta be careful because you can't trust these places. They'll tell you whatever. You can't trust them. You know what I mean? Because it's all about the dollars, about making money. You know what I'm saying? Chicago Sun-Times, August the 17th. Western states hit with more cuts to Colorado River water. See? Water drying up. Look at this. Look how dry that ground is. Break it all up, crack it up. That's how it dry. Huh? Okay? See? So Yah is working. Like he said, he coming out like a wailing, travailing woman. Huh? You understand what I mean? Drying up the water, the pool, drying up the herbs, making the fish stink. Okay? Prophecy being fulfilled right before our eyes. But who understands prophecy? Chicago Tribune, August the 18th. Right? Wild weather. A worker attempts to clear a drain with a broom Wednesday amid flash flooding in London, brought on by torrential rain. The much needed wet weather came, see, because they've been having drought situation over there in Britain and super hot, right? Came as Britain is dealing with drought conditions. See that? It also occurred during one of the driest summers on record, in which the country reached 140 degrees for the first time one day last month. For the first time. So we seeing accelerated temperatures. You follow what I'm saying? Just like I said, they said this morning, out there in California, 116 degrees. They ain't never been that hot on record. You follow what I'm saying? See, so this is what, this is what's going on. Chicago Tribune, August the 18th. U.S. retail sales flat in July under weight of inflation. Report has some bright spots. Consumers still spending, but more cautiously. Okay. Also, Egypt bank chief quits amid crisis. Okay. Said, money probably come up stolen. He said, I'm out of here. Okay, Egypt's central bank governor resigned Wednesday as the Middle East's most populous nation struggles to curb inflation triggered by Russia's war on Ukraine. You know, they can always try to blame it on Russia, right? When it's the Edomites, you understand, in Kiev, right? Zelensky and the Edomites, right? The Nazis, because that's what they are, pushing at Russia. You understand what I mean? Say, will new laws slow inflation? Not anytime soon, analysis say. But its provisions won't likely cause more of it either. This is out of Washington. With inflation raging near its highest level in 4 decades, 40 years, right? President Joe Biden this week signed into law his landmark Inflation Reduction Act. Its title raises a tantalizing question. Will the measure actually tame the price spikes that have inflicted hardships on American households? Economic analysis of the package suggests that the likely answer is no, not anytime soon. Anyway, right? Also, the UK, United Kingdom, Britain, right? Inflation hits 10.1% on food, energy costs. Okay? And I also heard that, matter of fact, Yada told me this. She was looking at something, because she be looking at this news all day, you know, every day except the Sabbath day. You know what I mean? She told me she saw where electric batteries, get a new electric battery for a vehicle, a car, or I guess an SUV, it's gonna be $20,000. So when you get one of these electric vehicles and that battery finally goes there where it won't take a charge, which all batteries do eventually, she said, well, it's gonna cost $20,000 to get a new battery. Okay, for your vehicle. Now, right there, how many vehicles you think, you follow me, as time goes by, you're going to be sitting up on the side somewhere, not running, because they can't afford a new battery. Okay? See, they don't talk about that, the price of a new battery for these electric vehicles. Chicago Sun-Times, August the 19th. Groups warn of unsafe water at Illinois prisons. Now, you know they don't care anything about these prisoners in these prisons incarcerated. You know they getting the worst of everything. Okay. Chicago Tribune, August the 19th. The Israelis raids, shutters offices of Palestinian rights groups. You know, you understand? They raided a lot of these Palestinian human rights groups, movements over there in the land, in Ramallah and the West Bank. They branded them terrorist organizations because, you know, they locking up any Palestinian that sends money, you understand, to their people. You understand, over there in the Gaza. You follow what I'm saying? Over the they brand them as, you understand, terrorist groups, sending money to terrorists. But you understand, here, you understand, this government is sending billions and billions of dollars, right? They already sent 53 billion and got a package right now ready to send 14 billion more. It'd be 67 billion all together to the Edomites over there in the Ukraine. Zelensky and the Edomites, that, you understand, that's over there, you know, started this, you know, that they propping up, that they have, and they're falling, but, you know, America's been propping up to attack Russia by all nefarious means. And they sent $53 billion so far, getting ready to send the kind of package to send 14 more billion to them, $67 billion. And they are terrorists. That's what they are. They've been bombing, shelling the eastern part of the Ukraine over there in Donbass for the last 14 years. Excuse me, 8 years. Since 2014. The last 8 years they've been bombing the eastern Ukraine, Donbass, shelling. Now who the terrorists? Just like the Edomites in the land attacking our brothers and sisters, the so-called Palestinians, blowing up their homes, got them under apartheid system. Who the terrorists? You understand? Threatening to kick our brothers and sisters out in the Demona that I read earlier. You know, they talked about this in the past. Here the other year they was talking about putting out 45 families. But like I said, y'all not going to allow that to happen, because he said he's going to refrain for them that they don't get cut off. He defers his anger, even though they ain't about him yet. Right? Not in truth nor in righteousness. Chapter 48, you shy the first verse. right? Sodom and her daughter, that's what Yah calls them over there in Ezekiel 16. He defers his anger. He gonna give them a chance to come over. And we see in Zechariah 12, right? And Ezekiel 16, many of them gonna come over. Right? Because we see that in Zechariah chapter 12, right? The governors of YHWH, of the Mona movement, they're going to say in their heart, once the Yah righteousness is brought back and set in the midst of them, and they see how it come back, you know, lifted up, magnifying Yah, and how, you understand, the elite going to submit to it, these monarchies and whatnot, right? That were sprinkled 18 years ago, right? 2004. And since they got sprinkled, y'all been shaping and molding them. Yeshua chapter 41. This is the book. Okay, this is Yah's word. Right? Yeshua chapter 52. He shall sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him. For that which had not been told them shall they see. And they didn't see the Yah righteousness until when? 2004, September 2004. Like I said, the illuminated Edomite and the Skull of Moboy, they didn't tell them nothing about the movement. Okay? See? Prophecy fulfilled, prophecy fulfilled, prophecy fulfilled. But who understands prophecy? Okay? You understand? Here that Edomite Zelensky is right there with Erdogan. And who's that with him? The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who very well could be an Edomite himself. Okay, because Erdogan could be one too. I don't know, because we know the Edomites was in Turkey. You know, some of the Edomites went up into Turkey when they got kicked out of the land of Israel by the Romans back in 135 CE AD. That's when their diaspora began. Malachi chapter 1, right? Esau said, you know, we shall return and build the desolate ways. What did Yah say? Yeah, ye shall return and you shall build, but I'm going to throw down. You're going to be called what? The borders of wickedness. And that's what they exhibited. Killing, you understand, Israelites, so-called Palestinians every day, threatening to kicking out, you understand, the brothers in Dimona and Mizpeh, you understand, threatening to kick them out. And them brothers cleaving to them. Them brothers then totally capitulated to them. You understand? Because they think they got to do that to stay in the land. That's what Isaiah thought. That's why you look at this, what I put forward earlier, you understand, this, what I said to you about this Jesse Jackson Jr., you understand, like I said, they got him, like they training him, they've been training him to take like Isaiah's place in the community. That's why they had him, you know, praise Isaiah, but he really was talking about himself. When you look at it, it's like 25 minutes and 40 seconds long. You know, when I watched it, Yada brought it and I'm watching it, I said, Yada, ain't he supposed to be talking about Isaiah? He talking about himself, okay? But he starts out with Isaiah and he ends with Isaiah. And then, right after he gets through and walks off, they show you, they go to Isaiah is up there on stage because he's in a wheelchair. And he's talking. You understand? Because he was so afraid he couldn't even hold a microphone. One of his sons holding it. You understand what I'm saying? And he's talking. And when you hear him talking, Isaiah gonna say, you understand, talking about the Edomites over in the land, they not racist. They not. What are they? But he says that. Because when he's up there on the stage, you gonna see, got the Edomite flag on one side, got the American flag on the other side. See, so they had, you know, that's what he been doing, shilling for them. You follow me? You know, trying to acclimate to the enemy, you know, turning people to the enemy, trying to make the enemy all right. Them Edomites, they not about anything. Them Edomites that's over in the land, like I say, Yah said he gonna suddenly make them run away from her. He gonna run the majority, and I do mean the majority. There's only gonna be some women and children left. Not no adult males, and most of the adult women. He gonna run them down there into their land, and there they're gonna be made like the burdens of line. 33:12 Yeshua. Okay, it talks about in the 34th chapter of Yeshua. His indignation is against Edomia, the land of Seir, Basel, for all that they have done, forwarding their affliction. trying to keep Israel cut off from Yah forever, trying to keep Yah cut off from the people of the earth forever, so that this reign of darkness can exist forever. Because again, the sword kills. When something's dead, what state is it in? Go to Ecclesiastes. What did the wise man ever say? The days of darkness shall be many, because one day you got to die, right? But that's what the Edomites, you understand, promulgate. Death and destruction. That's why Abraham Stoker, what did he call him? Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Because every place they go, they destroy, they kill. You understand? Just like the Edomites that's over there in the western part of the Ukraine in Kiev. Zelensky and the boy. Bunch of Nazis. I've seen them with Nazi tattoos on their arm. So that's who promulgated the Nazis with Hitler, was the Edomites, the illuminated Edomites. Hitler didn't have no money, he was poor. Like I said, you understand, only ones can do anything is the ones that's got the wherewithal, the economic wherewithal to have something done on a large scale. The Illuminists was behind World War I, World War II. Just like they were behind the Trade Center situation. You follow me? Vietnam, I mean, everything you can think of. Like I said in the past, Mel Gibson, he know. What did he say? The Jews done caused all the wars. It's coming up through time. That's what Esau does. See, but when you say Jew, that ain't taking you to the, you understand, to the all the way to the core of the situation. When you say the Edomites, now the only place you can find out about Esau, you got to come to this book of remembrance. That's where you get the truth about these Edomites, these Jews. That's why, again, they try to make us think we Jews. The true Israelites, they try to make us think we Jews. Many of these Israelites think that. They've awakened to the fact that Israel, they think they Jews. All confused. And again, you know, just like Asiel, you understand, Benjamin and them full of pride. Isn't that what y'all said they was going to be? In Ezekiel 16, what was the iniquity of Sodom and her daughters, the descendants of YHWH? Pride and abundance of idleness was in them. You understand? Sitting up twiddling their thumbs, you know, scheming, trying to find ways to make money without actually having to work for it. That was right up Asiel's alley. That's what he was about. Always coming up with some kind of scheme to make some money, you understand, without having to actually work for it. And that's a fact. I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. Okay? Chicago Tribune, August the 19th. Algeria wildfire. They got wildfires in Algeria, just like they have fires over there in Western Europe. You understand? Just like you got fires here. Okay? You understand? Out there on that West Coast, you follow me? I'm telling you, this whole thing is collapsing. But it's supposed to be, right? The fourth dominion collapsing right before our eyes. Chicago Tribune, August the 20th. UK's rise in energy bills may lead to health crisis. You understand? Because you got to pay for that energy. You got to pay for light. You got to pay for heat. And we haven't seen it yet. Well, they scared every day. We watch that RT International. And over there in Western Europe, they talking every day about the, you know, they know they're not going to have enough natural gas to heat these homes over there in Germany and UK, Italy. You understand? Sweden, Denmark. Yeah, they ain't going to have enough gas to heat their homes. Poland, Bulgaria. Okay? They're not going to have enough gas. I don't care what they say. France and whatnot. Hey, you understand? And they know that. Okay? And the price, to you understand, to take this gas and liquefy it and send it over abroad, then turn it back into gas again, that's big though. So when you got to pay for that, you're going to be lacking on the other end. Like I said, you watched that Democracy Now! This morning. Okay, they talking about Shireen Abu Akleh, got her niece on there, but after that, like I said, they got that Elliot Mistel, you know, the brother who's all know about this laws here, the Constitution, and all that, this voting and all of that stuff. You understand? Because he all hooked up into that. You understand? I mean, he don't know he Israel. You understand? But like I said, it's worth listening to because again, it's gang, right? But at the end, they're talking about this Caucasian chick named what's her name? Ironreich. She just died. 81 years old, same age I see her, 81 years old, born same year, right? 41. But the deal is, she wrote this book about nickel and diamond. That was the name of it, nickel and diamond the masses. How they, they give you a job. She said, but just cause you got a job, that don't mean you all right. She said, basically working for slave wages. A lot of most of these jobs, you ain't making no real money. They do that boom bust on you. They inflate, deflate at will and soak up you paying all this extra money. Just like this article here, right? UK's rise in energy bills may lead to health crisis, because if you want some heat, you understand, when it start really getting cold, you want some heat. That means that bill's gonna be super high. Then you got to pay it to keep it on, right? So now how you gonna buy food? How you gonna buy other than the necessities? You follow what I'm saying? Because without this a lot of this gas and whatnot, right, propels the electric. Because you got a lot of places over there now that don't even have electricity. Now this been going on here for a while, because I didn't talked about this. We've seen different people on the news, whatnot, talking about, I read articles, you understand, over the past so many years, right? People saying they got to decide what they're gonna pay at the end of the month. What they're gonna not pay. You follow me? It's just like, you understand, these students, Biden come out with a $10,000 to $20,000, payment for student loan that, people take off their loan, $10,000 to $20,000, right? But you got most of these people, they own on the average to $35,000 a month. And the article I'm just reading, I think I got it here in the stash, but you understand, just reading here the other day, they said, a lot of these people, they owe so much money through the years that, some of them people that had maybe they started out owing $40,000, $50,000 on their student loan. But again, it's 8% interest, right? And some of them have paid like maybe 15, 20, 25, 30,000, and they still owe, 50 or 60,000, more than what they started out being because of the interest. Okay, some people maybe owe 30,000, and they still owe maybe 25,000, but they didn't pay maybe 35,000 over the years because of the interest. They can't never catch up. Okay. Also, Wayfair cutting 5% of the workforce. Okay, you got a lot of these businesses cutting workforce. They come out with a jobs report talking about all these jobs created. That's a lie. You got plenty of these. You understand? These businesses cutting workforce, laying people off. Say London's tube strike follows railway walkout. Huh? The tube, that's the rail system. The underground, subways in London. They call it the tube, right? A strike by London underground workers brought the British capital's transit network to a grinding halt on Friday, a day after a nationwide walkout by railway staff. Another rail strike is scheduled for Saturday as the UK endures summer of action by workers demanding pay increases to offset soaring food and energy price hikes. Now, and this is going on across the earth, these hikes, because all of these paper currencies is failing. All the fiat currency is collapsing. Okay, across the earth, right? They artificially strengthening the dollar, but again, they raising interest rates. So basically, you understand, you need more dollars to pay because stuff is higher. Food, energy, right? Stuff's high, so you need more dollars, right? And so they raising the interest rate, but still not enough to stop inflation. Nowhere near it, right? And so you got these different markets collapsing. Stocks going down, bond markets collapsing, right? So now, you understand what I'm saying? They artificially manipulate the gold and silver and the precious metal prices, right? But again, if you've got gold and silver, I don't care what happens, you got some money. Now, and as things keep going on, eventually, they're going to start going up as the fiat currency goes down more and more and more. Because that's the whole reason that you get precious metals, commodity, you understand, to keep your buying power where it is, where it does not depreciate. You understand? Whatever the situation is, you're going to be able to take that and go buy you some food, go buy you the things that you need. See? But again, what does y'all say about the Jerusalem movement in Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7? The last day is great. It's even the time of Zion's trouble. Now you're cold. Because you're going to see Zion later. That's what it's talking about, the Jerusalem movement. What does it say? But they're going to be saved out of it. And isn't that what we've been in refinement all these years? Huh? Y'all's been shaping, forming us, preparing us. Right? We purging the ways of the heathen out of ourselves. Every time y'all reveals to us, you understand, something that's not in harmony with him, okay, I can't do that anymore. You understand? Chicken, turkey, hybrids, I can't eat that anymore. You follow what I'm saying? Swine, no good, can't eat that anymore. Chicken eggs. Chicken's a hybrid, I can't eat that anymore. Can't eat eggs, chicken eggs. Right? You understand? Can't go up in the house of idol worship where they held ICL's, services. Like I said, in my old, neighborhood, Trinity, church, the one Obama, Reverend Wright was the, Reverend there, the Reverend Wright, he's the pastor there at Trinity. You understand? See, you understand? We ain't supposed to go in the houses of idol worship for any reason. See, but that's who ICL associated with, all these idolaters, because that's what he was. That's why they all turned out. You understand? Most of them. You understand what I'm saying? That's why Farrakhan was there. And like I said, when you listen to Farrakhan, he reveals some things. See? You understand? If your understanding is there to be able to discern it. Right? Again, Chicago, Suntime, August 21st. Harmon, other politicians keep taking money from pharma companies implicated in opioid crisis. See? Now this is Illinois Senate President Don Harmon. He's out of Oak Park, right? Here, suburb here outside Chicago, right? But they get all these different, you understand, politicians, they get money from the opioid, you understand, purveyors. You understand what I mean? All the pharmaceuticals. Okay? You understand? They get kickback money, campaign money. See? Campaign money. All of them on the take. Huh? All of them on the take from the drug dealers. The pharmaceuticals that's been shooting out these opioids, to the masses, creating thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of deaths. And they taking money from these pharmaceuticals. So you think they're going to vote against them? You think it comes up where, you understand, like the Sacklers, Edomite family, you understand, on Purdue Pharma, right? You understand? You think when it comes to having to say, they need to be indicted, they need to be put in jail, that they're going to vote against them when they've been getting kickback money from them? Payoffs? Right? Okay? Sellouts, whores, prostitutes. Chicago Sun-Time, August 22nd, right? Car bombing kills daughter of Russian known as Putin's brain, which is a lie. Okay? You understand? You might have heard about it. Her name was Dugina. What's her first name? Daria Dugina was the daughter of this man that they gonna say over here was Putin's brain, but when you watch IT, they say that's a lie. You know what I mean? Putin knew him, but they did. He wasn't Putin's advisor, nothing like that, right? But they have said since, because at first they said that this guy, who was her father, this Daria Dugina's father, they said the original car bombing was really for him. But since then, we've heard on RT that now she was the target because she was a journalist. But they said that it looks like she really was the target. Okay, but who's behind that? And they know they say it was a woman and another guy So I ain't heard no more if they caught them yet, because they took off. You know, they left the day before the bombing actually jumped off. I think it was. You know what I mean? But this is the kind of stuff Esau does. Just like, you know, they killed a lot of Iranian scientists over there in Iran. This is what they do. You know what I mean? That's what these Edomites do. You know, just like the Edomites, you know, kill Palestinians every day, right? And they fixed it where many of Israelites over here get killed, you know, every day. You know, because they, you know, penetrated their mind with a bunch of nonsense, and then there is no jobs, basically, and there are no outlets for a lot of the young folks here, like it used to be when I was coming up. They just stopped all of that. Okay, these young folks now, they being raised by video games. You know, what's that thing? Where they, you know, carjack. They carjacking. What they call it? Grand auto theft or something. You know, because I never watched that garbage. But a lot of these young folks is raised on that garbage. And so now when they get to be 13, 14, because they just caught a boy here, 14 years old. They charged him with a bunch of carjacking. They caught him in the act, you know. And another one here was young boy. I think I said on the last session. I think the sister, you know, came out with her gun, and him and a bunch of young boys, about 3, 4, 5 young boys, you know, Israelites, right? And they was like 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, and she come out, had a gun, and she like, "What you doing?" They was trying to break into her car. And one of them up the pistol, she pulled her gun and shot the 14-year-old in the neck, killed him dead. All that old kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, is really suicidal. You know what I mean? You don't really look at it as that, but you know, you go off on this mindset in this path, and it's really suicidal. It's destructive, right? Chicago Tribune, August 22nd. Many in Haiti still struggling 1 year after deadly earthquake. Israelites over there in Haiti. All into voodoo and the Christianity and some nonsense, right? Under the curse. Also, hotel attack ends in Somalia with at least 21 dead, 117 hurt. You know it's Israelites over there in Somalia too. I ain't saying all of them, but you know it's Israelites there. We everywhere. And definitely where it's problems. And there's problems everywhere across the earth, right? Chicago Tribune, August the 22nd. Israeli spyware maker. The CEO of embattled Israeli spyware maker NSO has stepped down as part of a corporate reorganization. Okay? Because again, they the ones said NSO has been connected to a number of scandals resulting from alleged misuses by customers of its flagship Pegasus phone surveillance software. But you know they got these phones tapped. You understand what I'm saying? Tapped. Listening all the time. Chicago Tribune, August 23rd. Arkansas officer suspended after video captures beating. You know, many of you might have saw that. Now, this was on a young Caucasian boy. Okay? 27-year-old boy named Randall Worcester. They showed these three you understand, Arkansas policemen beating him, beating him unmercifully. This is a Caucasian though they was beating, instead of an Israelite for once, right? And it was on video camera. Okay. Chicago Tribune, August the 23rd. Ford to slash 3,000 jobs. See that? Plenty of these businesses slashing jobs, these industries slashing jobs all the time, right? They slashing 3,000 jobs and new push to cut costs. You follow me? Because you understand, people don't have the money, so you're not selling products, so you got to cut costs. But by the same token, they flipping over into electric now. You understand? Because a lot of these cars industries, is saying by like 2030, they're not going to have any more. They're not going to be selling any more petrol combustible engines. They're going to be selling vehicles that got batteries, electric. Okay? Also, Germany floats causes of fish die off in river. Okay? It's a cocktail of chemicals, they say. Now, that's over in Germany. Fish dying off in the rivers, right? Because of all these chemicals being, inseminated into the rivers over there. Okay? It's a mess. Okay? A real mess. Also, as drought shrinks, the Yangtze, China's industry also withers. Okay? Drought over in China. And the industry is withering because of the drought, because it's so bad. You know, because these industries need water. Some kind of water. And then the drought, y'all drying it up. Right? Chicago Tribune, August the 24th. Silos collapse. In an image from video, smoke and dust rise after smoldering silos damaged during a 2020 explosion at the port of Beirut collapsed Tuesday. Now, they claim, this is what they claim, was from the, chemicals stored in Beirut, which created that explosion. But that was a little lightweight nuclear bomb that the Edomites dropped on Lebanon in Beirut Harbor. That's what that was. Okay? If you see that mushroom cloud, that's a little lightweight nuclear bomb they dropped on. There ain't no chemicals. You know what I'm saying? It's stored up like they try to make you believe. You know, just like that Oklahoma Timothy McVeigh stuff they tried to talk about it was a fertilizer. That was a little lightweight missile they dropped on them and knocked that, I'm telling you, they terrorists. That's what they are. Right? That's what Esau is, and then people who's with him. The Skull and Bone Boys, they terrorists, the pirates. That's what Skull and Bone represent. Okay? See, and like I said, they got a lot of these Caucasians thinking that Trump is fighting the Skull and Bone Boys, the deep state. They really believe that nonsense. Chicago Sun-Times, August 26th. New York Police Department detective asked Supreme Court to block vaccine mandate. Okay? New York City Police detective has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to stop the city from firing him and other workers for refusing to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Lawyers for Detective Anthony Marciano asked the court Thursday for an emergency injunction that would block the city from enforcing a rule requiring all municipal employees to get vaccinated. Marciano, a 10-year police veteran, was among a small percentage of civil servants who refused the shots and didn't qualify for a medical or religious exemption. More than 1,000 New York City employees have been fired for refusing the vaccine, and others are waiting to find out whether their requests for exemptions will be approved. Legal challenges to the rules have largely failed, but Marciano's case is still pending in a federal appeals court. In a petition to the Supreme Court, Marciano's lawyer asked Justice Sonia Sotomayor to block the city from enforcing its rules until that appeal is resolved. Each day, more and more municipal workers are being fired for refusing the EUA COVID-19 mandate in a city riddled with crime and rapidly decaying, in need of more, not less, skilled municipal workers, wrote lawyer Patricia Finn. Marciano argues in his legal filing that he has natural immunity to COVID-19. That's what Aaron Rodgers said, right? And the vaccines against the virus have simply too many adverse consequences that applicant is unwilling to risk. Health authorities say the COVID-19 vaccines approved for use in the United States are safe. Well, quite naturally, they're going to say that. Okay, and also California phasing out gas vehicles in climate fight. Like I said, they say by 2030, you understand? Let me see. No, it says Democratic government Gavin Newsom told state regulators 2 years ago to adapt a ban on gas-powered cars by 2035. Okay? So I think I saw where it said by 2030, no gas-powered car can even be sold. No new gas-powered car can be sold in California. They done passed that, I think, by now. Tell you, see, they think that's the answer, but it's not. Chicago Tribune, August 26th. The great Illinois pension reckoning is drawing closer because these pensions, Illinois pensions here, you understand, city, county, all, they in trouble. They ready to collapse. Okay? That's they on the verge of collapse. Okay, big time. Say, like many individual investors, public pension funds enjoyed a stretch of good returns over the last decade, between 2011 and 2021. These retirement plans for public sector employees generated 7.8% annualized gain. The better than expected performance combined with federal pandemic relief to provide fiscal breathing room for Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Edomite, Edomite, I don't know if he's illuminated, but he's multi-billion-dollar Pritzker family, and other politicians who continue to preside over grossly underfunded retirement systems. This year, however, financial markets are putting pension underfunding back at the top of the agenda where it belongs. Okay, so the median U.S. pension fund lost 9.7% in the second quarter, according to the Pension and Investments Trade Book, and the first quarter was weak as well.